Welcome to a very special episode of The Lost, ladies and gentlemen. We're watching MK11 story mode and commenting.
We sure are. And I want to give a special thanks to Brusque. This is his footage of story mode that he's allowing us to use.
Thank you very, very much, Bruss.
He's a good friend of the channel.
Among many. You have some good people with us.
And we're a good friend of his channel. Brusque Poet Productions.
In the meantime, we gotta rock on through Electric Avenue.
You know, I really like the little retcon addition of the tall tower to the Sky Temple. That wasn't there in MKX. But, you know, it makes it look more like the Deception version, so I appreciate that.
I mean, this whole thing's been kind of evolving since MK4. Remember, it was just like an empty platform with lightning and rain? Then there was a building where there was no building before.
I mean, I'm not sure those are the same. So, like, the one in MK4 was the Wind World from Mythologies. It was Fujin's level.
I think it's all a soft retcon. I don't know.
In my personal opinion, the Temple of the Elements from Mythologies and Raiden's Sky Temple should be the same place, because you don't need two temples where the gods guard Shinnok's amulet. There doesn't need to be two of those in the lore.
Embrace the truth the elder gods deny. The truth
The other thing, I really, really like how they did Dark Raiden in this scene, where, like, Shinnok will say something to him, and he'll get quiet, and you'll see this expression on his face, like he's trying to hold in the rage, and he just can't do it. It really bums me out that he's only in the game for one chapter, because they did it right, you know?
At the very least, they do give us the background that he's been like this for a while, and people are concerned about his behavior.
Yeah, but we don't, like, what did
There's
they
no
even
real
do for
closure
those
to it.
those 2 years between X and 11? What plot happened?
For the sake of my own sanity, I'm going to assume that Stryker and Smoke were wrecking shit, and they've been dealt with.
Raiden fucking killed them off screen.
That's what happens to the best of us. And plop.
So, watch the body. It continues twitching in the background.
So I hadn't actually noticed that. You know, I figured like the head would still be moving around, sure.
Yeah, you watch. You might not see it again until Kronika walks in the room, but the next time you see it, it's still moving.
deliver you to Liu Kang and your Netherrealm minions. You will serve as warning and an emblem of my wrath.
Now, I'm gonna wait a moment till she walks in. But there is something... There's a point I want to raise here. So, we know from the next chapter, when she fixes the castle, that Kronika... There, it's moving. See, it's twitching back there? So, Kronika can rewind stuff when she's, like, in the same room as it. Like, her powers aren't, like, the whole universe, but if she's near something, she can rewind it. So she could put Shinnok's head back on his fucking body right now.
Plot contrivances. Right?
Yeah.
But if she does that, will she also rewind Raiden into also being there, or what?
I mean, apparently she can pick and choose, because she doesn't bring Sonya back to life when she fixes the castle. I like, I really like that they got Cassie's chapter out of the way first, to just, you know, allay people's fears that she'd take over the story again, like the kids. It's like, no, don't worry. We're getting her out of the way. It's not about her this time.
As you were.
So here's a goofy fact that I have heard from Sean Kittleson himself. So there's what seems like an error in this scene is that Cassie is promoted to the rank of commander. Now, the U.S. Army does not have the rank commander. That's a naval term.
But it's the Special Forces.
Yeah,
They can do
the
anything
U.S.
they
Army
want.
Special Forces, a.k.a. the Green Berets, is a real-life unit. It's the Army's version of, like, the Navy SEALs.
Is that actually their logo on her cap, though?
So I asked about this, and according to Sean Kittleson, the Special Forces in the MK universe,
yep, I was thinking so.
At least this version is not part of the Army. Their full title is like the Earthrealm Allied Defense Force Special Force, something like that. You know, it's like an international, it's like the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I'm okay with this.
I mean, I can forgive it. It's just, it's goofy when you compound it by the fact that if you really look close at this fucking hangar stage, there's an Outworld Investigation Agency flag back there. And that was the old timeline. That doesn't exist in this timeline.
Well, now it does. Behind the scenes.
I guess so.
What good did it really do in the original except to get blown up as part of a plot point?
Well, see, I really like the OIA, because it was the part
too.
of Jax's story that emphasized him inventing shit.
Well, he went down a very different path this time.
Yeah, which is a bummer to me. Like, I miss when he was building portal machines. I'm not that into tortured Jax, punished Jax.
Now he's building a high alcohol tolerance level. He's still building stuff.
Yeah, right.
They are no longer the champions we once knew. We must strike them preemptively.
I do love how creepy his eyes are.
Like, what is Raiden coming to them now about? Like, he says, oh, the Netherrealmers are getting ready to attack us. I'd like to see how he knows that.
The seat of their power. Destroy it, and their undead army will fall.
Apparently there was a scene left on the cutting room floor that would be set before this that would show the Netherrealmers attacking somewhere on Earthrealm.
So, there is a good reason for him doing
this.
Yeah,
no, this isn't just Raiden sitting on his thumbs for 2 years and then deciding, fuck it, I'm going after Liu Kang now.
That's unfortunate.
I'm gonna make up an excuse and Sonya will be down with it.
See, there you go. Johnny's fed up with his stupid emo eyes and his emo hats.
I do like him using the phrase grim and gritty. It's appropriately self-aware.
Yep, no one wants to get Kang banged.
I always find it silly that Raiden can teleport people using lightning powers. Like, teleporting himself makes sense because he himself is made of lightning, but other people are not.
You know, you'd think that it probably felt really bad, but they just kind of walked on through like it was nothing.
Yeah, he just kind of makes this cool-looking cloud bank for them to all walk through. Because portals can look like anything now. They don't have to be swirly holes anymore.
I miss my swirly holes. Wait.
I miss swirly holes too, man. That's what I'm salty about. This is a cool shot, just walking alone out of the fog.
Withdraw, or feel the wrath of
Shao Kahn. No, wait, shit.
I wish there were scenes in other games where he did that echo voice.
Honestly, he sounded more like Kahn here than... more like Steve Ritchie here.
Well,
than the
I mean,
Kahn
he's the god of thunder. He should be able to, like, make his voice sound like thunder sometimes. And there's a moment in the movie where Christopher Lambert does it.
Yep,
yeah.
That's the one. Who disrupted our sex marathon? Oh.
I don't know how they get anything done.
There's just no expression on Liu Kang's face, just like, open the gates.
It must be Tuesday.
Asshole's been zapping in with his friggin' amulet, his hand-me-downs. Twice a week. Every week.
Now, did Cassie just decapitate that guy with a baton?
Okay, every time Jade slices off limbs with her baton...
Well, yes, but that's stupid, too.
Oh, I'm not saying there's an excuse for him, I'm saying I agree with you.
you could make the excuse that Jade's is like some energy stick. It's like a lightsaber, maybe.
I try to think
Honestly,
about it
in this
much.
game, it just looks like glass with electricity in it.
Yeah, you know, it feels like it's gonna break.
Yeah, it looks like a toy you'd buy at Spencer's Gifts.
Sneak, 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 sneak. Doot, 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 doot.
I like this close-up on the head, just... Ah, God!
I don't think they ever specify what the fuck they're doing with it.
Yeah, who knows what that lightning
Just
is.
drawing energy from it. Remember we thought that was going to be a plot point?
This was also acquired from Spencer's Gifts. Just a fancy way to display the head.
The Chinook 9000. For all your power supply needs.
And I like these two fucking come in and bow to it like they're still fucking serving him. I'd kiss the ring, but, well, there's no hand there.
Come to gloat, have you?
Look at you with your necks and your torsos. Fucking rub it in, why don't you?
He's fast. Take out him and Jade. I'll go downstairs and set the C4. Roger that.
It's so silly to see, like, the US military fucking invading hell. Like, there are some serious questions, theological questions, to be asked in the Mortal Kombat universe.
Honestly, the only real question I have about this is when is Doomguy a guest character? Because this is just his...
Yeah, this is him all over. Like, he should totally be somewhere, like, behind one of these pillars.
Get all of these assholes out of here and just send him in. He'll clean up the place in no time. I did, by the way, really love that quick shot of Cabal running forward and slapping the bullets aside with his hook swords.
Yeah. I love Cassie's reaction to her gun getting chopped in half there. She's fucking pouting.
I'll kick your ass on her behalf, Cabal.
Have you noticed how all the Black Dragon are really filthy in this game?
She bailed.
Like, constantly? You look like your mother.
That's on brand.
Support columns are further apart than expected. You need
I like how these C4 packs have a D-pad for the password. If there's anybody in the audience who's in the army and deals with explosives and can tell me if that's accurate or not, I would love to know.
Down, up, left, left, A, right, down. Or abacab. Pointless booty shot there was.
Somebody in this game needs to have one. Go into the model viewer and look at everybody's pancake ass. It's not a great time.
Why are you doing this? Again, they're just zoning out.
Just staring. Just enjoying the show.
You said bone.
Lock and load.
You know what'll really get those demons? Fire. Lots of fire ought to stop them.
Who knows how things work in this wacky world? They're not running into battle, they're running away from Doomguy.
That's my headcanon now. The faces in this game are really good.
Seriously. Cassie is straight up pretty.
I can't disagree.
Watching your back, General.
I do have to wonder. So Cassie's pistols in gameplay can now shoot bullets of, like, her shadow energy.
Right.
She doesn't seem to use that in the cutscenes at all.
Yeah, it's a missed opportunity, because I really enjoy that.
Yeah, it's a nice touch, like to give her gear that actually plays into her powers. And it seems like that would be more powerful than a bullet. Like, if I have... I think my biggest complaint with this story mode, other than all the plot holes, is just the amount of guns in what should be a martial arts universe.
I'm just more upset that
How are your scars healing?
skull fireball that Lou shot didn't mean anything close to what we thought it did.
Yeah, no, that's
He's totally
really
gonna be Shang, except he's not.
Like, just for starters, back in MKX, we clearly saw that Revenant Lou couldn't do regular fire anymore. He had red and black fire. So now they've not only retconned that, but he throws a skull for no reason. It has nothing to do with Shang. It means he can't throw skulls in gameplay.
He meditated for a really long time.
It's like an Easter egg, but the opposite, because Easter eggs are supposed to make you happy as a fan.
I feel like it was supposed to be put there to mess with us. It really was.
Yeah, it's just a fucking...
Raiden's right.
It's just something to put in the trailer and fucking swerve you.
Also, is it me or does like Lou's accent kind of really go back and forth between lispy and not lispy at all?
I find that it seems to depend between the regular and the Revenant.
I'm here.
Because he's obviously doing a much deeper voice, the actor for Revenant Lou. And sometimes
And I'm not gonna.
I'm back and forth on whether I like it or not.
What? I'm not leaving you behind.
I tend to prefer when he's a little less lispy.
Yeah. One thing that I will say is a bummer is that Brusque didn't capture some of the lines at the end of a fight, because some of those are good zingers.
Yeah.
I love you, Cass.
I'm not sure what this expression's supposed to convey.
Give your dad a kiss for me.
I think they could have done a little bit better
I
here.
think it conveys I'm buried under rocks and it hurts real bad and I'm trying not to show it, because I'm a tough person.
The wince at the end was good, but I don't know.
You know, I don't think that Rhonda is as bad as everybody says, but I'm not gonna say she's good.
She's better here in story mode than she is in the battle dialogue. I'll give her
Yeah,
that.
absolutely. There are moments. You know, she's below average, but I don't think she's the worst voice actor I've ever heard, especially... This is the Mortal Kombat series. We all played the 3D games and Shaolin Monks.
We're used to bad, but
We're used to them... Like, the standard for us for, like, 15 years was that all the voices were done by midway employee, like a guy from the art department. Just come in the office when you've got a couple hours and do Sub-Zero.
But, however, there were Deception NPCs with more conviction than Rhonda, just as much as there were less. That's all I'm saying. Getting paid in sandwiches takes you places sometimes.
I mean, I'm just gonna say, you know, nothing can be as bad as Elvis Cabal.
Well, thanks, warriors. Is it grief, or did the transport make her yuck?
Warrior's death. May we all
Read the room, Raiden. Dark or not, come on.
Oh, no, you didn't.
How did the mission go?
See, that's a good expression right there on his face. He realizes
this-
it instantly.
I mean, this whole, like, the grief scene here is really well done. And I like the sad music, like, the music in this game in general is all really on point.
I want a soundtrack release for this. I really do. The battle themes, the score, everything.
There's variety, you know,
Yeah.
not just in the music, but in the stages that the music goes with. You've got your traditional horror-ish places, then you've got, like, the Shirairyu Fire Garden, which is just beautiful trees and Japanese scenery.
The Kaiten Hive just sounds like some sort of abandoned Nine Inch Nails instrumental. It's messed up. I love it.
Yeah. They really took the criticisms to X to heart, and I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Again, Lou's standing here expressionless. I am homeless now.
Who are you?
What a minor inconvenience.
Elder gods here to taunt us?
No, Kitana. I am much more.
Where are Cabal and Jade right now? Are they under all that?
They're digging Striker and Smoke out from under the rubble.
Don't forget about Nightwolf. The last game and a half did.
Well, we're gonna see Nightwolf soon. You know that.
Yeah, I do know that.
I'm not worried about him so much as I am about the fact that apparently Smoke is on the same level as Striker. That's set. But enough about my biases. We'll get to that later.
I warned you. I spent the past, 6 months... trying...
They don't know who the guy is.
I was trying to wear you down on purpose to make you numb to it, because I know how it hurts. I'm there with you.
Resistance only makes me stronger.
I've carefully planned to keep the realms in balance. But my work's perfection has
Maybe in the next universe Smoke will matter.
actions.
You know it's not true.
You have felt that pain most acutely.
What can be done?
Look, without hope, what do we have?
It need not
The
be
current continuity? Waka waka.
Yeah, that's a good answer.
and restart history. But even with my
It hasn't been all that bad.
I cannot create this new era alone.
They keep capitalizing new era.
New era.
Yeah, get ready for the phrase "new era."
You're
'cause
gonna hear it a
should be
lot.
drinking game.
They only know Raiden.
How do we begin?
Just wanna pinch your little baby cheeks.
Speaking of extreme close-ups. You know what's odd to me about this moment is, look how strong the Collector is, that he's lifting, 6 guys up off their feet.
Stronger than your average Knocknoddin.
That doesn't really come across in either his physique or his gameplay. This is really the only moment in the entire game where it's like, hey, the Collector's actually really fucking strong, you guys.
So why isn't he in tournaments? Got better things to do. Collect taxes.
There's no profit in that.
I do not inflict bandits upon the poor.
Shao Kahn approved. His word was law.
It's been 25 years, dude.
I love his voice so much.
Yeah. I mean, the Collector is definitely my favorite new character introduced in this
yeah,
game.
same.
Never again.
In fact, probably the only new character I actually like. Garris is kind of okay-ish,
I think we're
but
on the same
because
level.
he's tied to Kronika and this plot, and you can't really have him in other games.
Yeah. He
But,
might
I mean,
be a
you
good
could-
future DLC choice for other games. Just have him be
Yeah, maybe.
non-canon or what have you.
Well, I mean, this is jumping ahead, but he can actually survive what
Yeah.
happens at the end of this
Yeah.
game because he's a quote-unquote fixed point in time. Rewinding all the way back to the beginning won't erase him. He still exists. And he remembers every timeline there's ever been.
He'd be a one-stop shop for Easter eggs, nudges towards all fans. Fuck, who activated the wrong combat code?
How do you feel about them really, really pushing the sand thing, the sands of time?
It's a little on the nose, but I'm okay.
Yeah, that's kind of, I don't hate it, but it's on the nose.
By the Elder Gods.
Hilson
Thanks for
comes
playing.
in and just... Bye-bye, Brian Shard's ideas. I don't want to work with that.
So long, episode 7. See ya.
It is a little bit like The Last Jedi and J.J. Abrams, and
I do love this moment here.
yeah, this is
Using it to,
this
like,
is a cool
stab
bit.
him, slide him back, open up the, whatever the fuck that thing is.
I mean, this is kind of the last cool thing the Collector gets to do.
Yeah, he just kind of sits around, like, commentating after this.
Yeah, he gives some exposition later, but pretty pretty much that was it for him, and that's a shame, because he is so cool. God, I love MK3 Kano.
I love this Shao Kahn design, just not the bunny ears.
Yeah, the helmet, with a different helmet, it does look better.
Liu Kang. Kitana.
Kung Lao. Oh man, they should have had the announcers say the names as they walk out of the sand.
Jade.
This is so like the movie where
Missed opportunity.
It's Reptile. You know, fucking do it, man. Just lean into it. I think it's silly to have given Raiden in story mode this outfit when there is an outfit with the V in the game. Like, the blatant retcons to the costumes get a little tiresome sometimes. And when you have the normal costume already in, why not just use that one?
Look, when you spell continuity with a K, you're off to a bad start.
Kotal Kahn.
Now here's something that bothers me. Jade and Shao Kahn are both calling him Kotal. His real name is Kotal. Kotal Kahn is a nickname D'Vorah gave him when he took the throne, which Jade and Shao Kahn were dead at the time. They shouldn't know that name.
Where did that come from?
That's an MKX.
Okay. So they just forgot, of course.
Well, it's because Chard's gone and Kittleson's writing now. He had problems with that in the comic, too. He called him Kotal in the comic when it should have been Kotal there as well.
Meh.
All Outworld champions long since gone. If you have already...
Yeah, long since gone. When the fuck did Scarlet die?
Yeah, apparently that happened off screen after the comic, I guess. Fucking. I mean, we know that after MKX, he hunted down and genocided the Tarkatan race. He must have gotten her too.
One supposes.
I am Kahn of Outworld. Vacate my throne, or I'll soak these sands with your blood.
They really did get Kahn's dialogue on point, you know? Even if I'm not that crazy about the voice.
Good job with Shao Kahn's personality. I mean, not that there's anything really... It's not easy.
Not hard.
It's not hard to get him right. Like, it's actually would be hard to get him wrong, because, like, he's literally just...
Angry
strongest survive the person. Mm-hmm. Like, he's just completely Darwinian. That's the whole character. Although, you know, if it was old timeline Shao Kahn, they could do his relationship with Kitana and Mileena differently, and that would be nice. But this is MK9 Kahn anyway, so I'm not going to complain about a retcon that happened back in 2011.
Jade knows him well, speaking of retcons.
Yeah.
I think I'm the only person who does not hate that. I don't care.
But it's okay?
Bicycle.
I love that. Just fucking comes in from off screen with it.
You trying to tell me I can dodge bullets?
When you're ready, you won't have to. Now this is a cool bit. Like, Baraka's finally getting some fucking...
Oh, he does so well in this story.
Some fucking badass cred. Like, this game really... And he doesn't even have a chapter, and they still manage to make him look cool.
You know?
Like, why can't they do that with other characters?
Impossible.
Well, they pulled it off this time, and I'm happy for him. He needed it. He really needed it.
Maybe one day will be Reptile's turn.
Well, he got the comic. But it feels like they looked at, like, years worth of memes. Oh god, that looks so painful. Years worth of memes of, like, people saying Baraka does nothing but job fights, and they decided to address that, and it's so great.
Yeah. Well, I feel like it's sort of a continued part of, like, in MKX they started giving the Tarkatans a culture and a language. And this is sort of just the natural continuation of building that up.
Yeah.
Better to thrive and show than starve.
Now, see, you and I
know.
have a disagreement about how much we like the fact that she's now an orphan rather than a golem made from scratch. I feel like when other characters are calling her an orphan and she's acknowledging it, then that argument that an orphan was just an ingredient in the stew and she is a wholly different person doesn't really fly.
I don't care about that. I'm at a point where, you know, she was introduced one game ago, and people have built on and erased less. Like it just doesn't matter to me that much.
I just find her an interesting character because
I do miss the parallel with Ermac that they had going on.
Yeah. Well, it's not just a parallel with Ermac. What I like is the idea that, look, Shao Kahn's adopted all these fucking broads. Only one of them was really created by him. And now that's not true anymore.
Oh, well.
I just want him to have one actual fucking daughter.
Nope, he's shooting blanks forever.
I guess.
Oh, did we miss her in black doing something? Par for the course. Jog, 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 jog.
I mean, Present Aaron is in the background there. Not that he ever gets a line of dialogue.
Yeah, that feels like cutting room floor material to me, too. What happened to that guy? The showdown we came here for.
I mean, the big thing is all these people want Aaron to be cool because he looks cool and he's got cool moves and he's high tier and whatnot. Like, they want him to matter because everybody's behind him because he's like the best new character for Max, right? All they had to do was give Present Aaron a fucking chapter in this game. That's all he needed.
It's unfortunate because just past Aaron comes off as a sleazy douche all the time.
Yeah. Especially with the retcon that he's a Black Dragon member.
It's
to me, my X-Men.
Bitch pudding!
Shao Kahn running away from a fight is so out of character.
You and me both, Kotal. You and me both.
I know you. We are acquainted in your era.
We were allies who became enemies.
I am surprised, given our shared antipathy toward Shao Kahn.
Everything changed after your defeat of Shinnok.
Why isn't the crowd booing?
Our realms joined.
They clearly can't make up their mind. I mean,
to protect Earthrealm, you lashed out at all realms you did.
It does kind of surprise me every time the crowd gets behind Shao Kahn. Like, apparently he wasn't the worst ruler.
Like, according to some of the dialogue, I think it's, I don't know, it's either Tano or Sonya, someone says that that's not why your people are crying or screaming or something like that.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of dialogues about Shao Kahn being an oppressor and the people supporting Kotal, but I mean, they cheer for Shao Kahn here in the arena, and we know that Outworld culture, like, favors Shao Kahn's ideals of, like, the strongest survive, and they love conquest, and we'll see it later when he's giving a speech as he's about to execute Kotal. Shao Kahn knows how to work the crowd.
Well, just like the real world, some like to be governed, some like to be reigned.
He is literally a professional wrestler-themed emperor. He knows how to get the cheap pops.
Okay, so this
is a good moment.
It is.
And I love the fucking smile on his face.
It's cute.
It's adorable.
Here comes one of the best lines in the whole fucking mode. I love it.
We can't trust her, Excellency. Kotal Kahn did, and she betrayed him to Shinnok.
How is it I'm dead and he sits on my throne?
Well, let me tell you something about this guy named Quan Chi.
It's a long story.
And Raiden killed you when Melina became Kahn.
After this one killed your daughter, Kotal claimed the throne.
Why would you admit to that?
Because she's a bitch. She also, I think, is aware of her plot armor. Like,
God, honestly.
If you went through life literally unkillable and were defeating most of your enemies in one hit,
that's fair.
Would...
Someone
like, if you knew you were a Mary Sue, you'd be a total bitch.
The legends are true?
What legends?
Apparently he's heard of Kronika.
You broke time!
I'm surprised how little Shao Kahn and Raiden know about, like, the other gods. Like, Raiden and Kahn in this game are constantly having the Elder Gods and Kronika give them exposition as if they're not already millennia-old gods themselves. Like, how do they not know anything about their own bosses?
Wipe Raiden from history?
It is an immense task, requiring great...
I wonder who that person in white is.
My hourglass requires protection while I work.
I'd also like to point out in the last scene where Kotal was talking to Raiden, he conveniently left out the little bit about him invading Earthrealm and siding with Shinnok for about 5 minutes.
Swear to God, I'm losing it. Can't someone, anyone, explain to me what the hell is going on? Right? I've been in the future for a whole hour and I haven't seen one jetpack.
He's got his IMDb page open.
It's wonderful.
Over there.
You know what I should have had for every single time he's on screen? A laugh track button. Sitting with me right here.
Became a different person. Red lightning, black clothes, authoritarian attitude adjustment.
Lots of Cure albums.
Yeah, about
I wasn't gonna mention the mascara, but...
Why does it smell like clove cigarettes in here?
As an immortal, I exist outside the normal laws of time. That could explain why I am affected differently.
Wibbly wobbly timey wimey stuff.
Let's go with that hand wave. That's fine. Whatever.
What's weird?
That
Not seeing Jax with a mustache is weird.
Look at her.
This actor's face, I feel like, works without a mustache. Normally, I hate Jax without a mustache.
Come on, at least think about it. We each get points off the gross. Coming this summer. Johnny...
But I feel like that guy is pulling off the John Tobias concept art Jax, whereas normally I like my Jax to look like John Parrish.
No, you're right.
Vague premonitions of the future.
I almost forgot about that.
I must confer with the Elder Gods. Liu Kang, Kung Lao, please assist the Special Forces while I am gone.
Fucking off to talk to the Elder Gods again.
Command.
That always leads...
Somewhere great?
This is strange for me, too.
You have no idea.
To be fair, they are going to tell him who the fuck Kronika is, so... This will be the one time in history where conferring with the Elder Gods actually yielded useful information.
But also disappointment.
Yeah, it is. Now we're gonna tell you what... We're not gonna help you, but we will tell you.
Yeah. And now here you are. Young enough to be my sister.
I kind of like Rhonda's... the way she plays the reaction to her present self being dead there.
Nah, it's not bad.
Netherrealm?
That delivery was okay by me.
Temple was supposed to stop them.
The soft-muted son of a bitch. Looks good.
Yeah.
Must help our Shaolin masters.
Why would the Netherrealm want to bust up your alma mater, Liu Kang?
Why are you holding your coffee mug wrong? The hell is wrong with you?
Look, he has very large hands, and coffee mugs have very small handles.
Earthrealm's life force.
They will not reach.
Also, I mean, we don't know how sensitive the fingers on those bionic arms are. He just got them. Maybe they're not great.
I would still experiment by holding, like, the handle before the entire cup.
Like, I'm sure make a fist and punch real easy. Sign your name? That's a little... That's the real test right there.
Our future, Liu Kang. It is insane.
How did they get this far and that was the first time they heard about what their present selves are up to?
I don't know, but just keep on talking. Just don't let me hear Kung Lao. I just don't want to.
He's fine in story mode. Like, I will agree, all of his fight dialogues are way too douchey. But he's fine in story mode. And, you know, he's the one of these two who's actually, like, going, you know, MK9 was fucked up and we shouldn't have listened to Raiden. He's the one making sense right now.
I mean, see how he can be your voice.
Liu is playing it calm and wise, and he's like, look, I agree, but we can't do anything about it right now. Put it out of your mind. That's a fair point of view.
His skepticism is justified. He's just always kind of a whiny dick about it. Yeah. And yes, he is better here than he is in-game, because holy shit. Such an example of Flanderization if ever I've seen one.
You know, of all the games that have this version of Kung Lao in it, Shaolin Monks is obviously the worst. I will say 11 is second worst. I thought that 9 and X played him a lot less of a dick. While still having that, the guy who wanted to attend the tournament and isn't as good as Liu. Like, I like that characterization of Kung Lao when they don't take it too far.
It's welcome backstory. Because initially he was just the guy who was, you know, the descendant of the original. But they didn't really do much with that.
Like I have often said, they didn't really give him a reason to not be at MK1 in the old timeline.
Pick your moment.
I like how Liu's talking about how to disarm the traps, and instead they just jump through it.
This is a good moment for him right here. I do enjoy this bit.
Yeah. I love the little smirk, like the what the fuck look on his face turning into a smirk. I do think he could have just teleported past.
Yeah. Yeah. Why?
Poison gas. Flame jets.
How about we avoid those?
Good suggestion.
I did not do that.
I did.
I sprung all the traps.
I was trained as a ninja, but fuck that noise.
You will not stop Kronika.
Just wait till I get guns. Lots of guns.
By the way, this is the second time I've been in this temple and sprung all the traps in my life.
These traps will.
Like, I didn't mention it before, but that hallway is totally mythologies.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's see whose fire burns hotter.
You know, this is the building he died in.
Everyone in this series is just taught puns at a very young age. Dab.
It is a dab. God damn it. This isn't a trap, just Bo Raicho has come to visit.
I've been putting them in bottles for just such an occasion.
It stopped. Why?
Because there is no god, Kung Lao has to live.
Yes, we turned on the traps just to turn them off again.
Like, what the fuck, honestly?
We just wanted to give you a scare.
Death, like yours, due to Raiden's incompetence.
You cannot turn us against it.
Like, you can't kill them because then their current revenant selves die.
Caused by our mistakes.
They were caused by our mistake. Really?
The truth is,
You have been deceived.
Raiden murdered you.
Dun dun dun. Dance off.
Raiden may make mistakes, but he doesn't murder his followers.
Kinda does, bro. The dialogue here, I feel like, is actually a little better if you pick Liu for that fight and Kung Lao for the next one.
What if the next revenant?
I really hope that once we get to the Cyber Lab, it's just all Sub-Zero.
Then we fight.
It is so much objectively better. I'm not saying that out of any particular, like, dislike for Scorpion, but
There is one moment, there's one moment in the Cyber Lab that I like for Scorpion better, and it's against Sector, because he just sticks his chest out and takes the flamethrower. It's like, are you fucking serious? You gonna use fire on me?
And he does give him shit for starting all the stuff, putting it all into motion.
Yeah.
That is nice too.
You started this fire. That's a good line, actually. Now, here's what I don't understand about the Elder Gods. So they're all talking at the same time, right? So there's like a telepathic link going on here, yeah? So how the fuck do they all not know that Cetrion's gonna betray them later?
Maybe they're just all speaking as one.
It will be done.
So at this moment, they all happen to have the same idea, like they've had millennia to practice and they've gotten really good at knowing what each other is thinking.
Perhaps.
Finishing each other's sentences.
Become a tyrant. If Kronika is defeated, will
I mean, that should still mean that they should see it coming when she fucking turns on and kills them all.
The Elder Gods have always posed more problems than they've solved.
It doesn't have to be that way. That's a choice in the writing. They were perfectly fine in MK3 and 4.
I suppose.
Is there any point?
I like how he's just pillaging, going through their stuff.
They said you'd come.
Now here's what's weird to me about Garris, is that he often, like, smiles and shows emotion. I can't really get a read on him.
I like the lighting here. It's just
Yeah,
their pupils. That's the
That
kind
is
of
pretty
shit I
cool.
wish we could see from Shao Kahn more often.
Yeah. You know, you get a lot of that good lighting in, like, the win poses.
Yeah.
Welcome to your future, courtesy of Raiden.
Our future may be tragic, but it's not Lord Raiden's fault. You've both been warped by Shinnok's evil.
I mean, it can be both. I love that he put his hand on his neck there.
Defeated Shao Kahn, but Raiden wanted the glory. His lightning cut me down.
And he punched me in the throat, now I talk like this.
One day,
Yeah.
I'll betray you. Then you will believe.
You spew Shinnok's lies. You attacked Lord Raiden, and he defended himself.
I think,
He did what
again, I think Brusk made all of the opposite decisions of the best dialogue for this chapter.
Yeah, if I remember right, Kung Lao has a really good one.
Yeah.
Like, I've only been through the whole thing once with everyone.
And I think Kung Lao has the best dialogue against Garris coming up here, too. I don't know if he picked Lao against Garris or not. But it's because Garris has met the great Kung Lao before.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
You should have listened to your revenant counterparts. With this
I really do think there's room for him to come back. I'm quite fond of him.
Yeah, I don't dislike Garris.
He's not the game's best.
I hate Kronika and Cetrion. I think they're terrible characters.
Yeah, I'm pretty much with you on that.
But Garris is okay.
Garris showed mercy to himself.
You know, I wish the head had rolled up and connected to the body like it does in his
the intro.
One intro, yeah.
point in time, with every death and rebirth, I grow.
Now that's a contradiction. You can't be fixed and grow stronger. That's not how that works.
That was also a Dragon Ball moment. Down to the neck crack.
Yeah.
Kung Lao, Kung Lao.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
The Jinsei chosen one.
I like that bit. Fetch the Jinsei chosen one.
You've met my ancestor?
He stood a chance against me. You have none.
Oh, suck it.
Monk succeeded. I respect your spirit, but Kronika's will must be done.
So why did you even fight them?
Yeah, right? I guess he just likes it? Like, there is that moment later where he's fucking smashing all these special forces guys. I think he just enjoys fighting. Like, it's like I said, I can't really... Garris clearly has a personality, but I can't fucking read what it is.
He's always been, he always would be. He likes to get his kicks where he may.
It's dangerous to let them live.
Maybe that's it. Maybe it's extreme boredom, and he's just really excited that he's finally doing something after 65 million years of nothing.
Yet again, Liu Kang, you've chosen the wrong destiny.
I know that choose your destiny is a phrase in this franchise, but that doesn't make any goddamn sense.
They use it a couple of times.
Yeah. That's not...
I'm actually amazed someone doesn't say
choose
toasty.
a destiny.
Hey, where'd this red asshole come from?
Yeah, right? This is Sector's first appearance. Like, surprise, I'm in this game. And by the way, here's Kitana standing next to Shao Kahn and not giving a shit.
Shao Kahn.
There's a character moment missed.
Soon,
Beep bop beep.
will be mine once Kotal is killed.
And what is your progress, Sector?
The Cyberlink Kuei factory
Sector has modified the Cyberlink Kuei factory. Production exceeds Sector's projections.
I kind of want Sector to speak in the third person now.
It's my headcanon. He will never not talk like that.
Lord Raiden, what did
It's because of Deception Conquest, isn't it?
Yes. I'm not letting that shit go.
If we succeed, our destiny can change.
So, there was this one time, years and years ago, back on MKO, this guy,
At the timeline
I don't know how to pronounce his name. He's named after a character from Dynasty Warriors. I think it's Zhao Dun or something like that was his screen name.
He was a huge Katana fan.
Yes, he was the big lore guy before me on the forums, and he once wrote some fan fiction bios for like a theoretical game. And his Sector bio, instead of being a bio, it read like a computer file, like do list.
Nice.
That was part of his program. I thought that was the most creative fucking thing, and I wish they would like do something like that in canon.
Like how like 12 in Street Fighter actually only had dialogue in binary on his windscreens. That was cool.
Yeah.
Oh, Cage, I'm not your Sonya.
Sorry. Too easy to forget.
Again, another good moment.
Yeah, I genuinely feel bad for President Johnny.
we have more to worry about than
I never would have imagined in years and years that they would have done such a great job at building up Johnny and Sonya's relationship the way they have.
I mean, we have disagreed on other characters that have benefited from this timeline, but I've always said Johnny gets it best because
Yeah.
he has actual character development.
Completely agree.
I mean, a lot of this game is about showing that off by comparing him to his self at the start of the timeline.
Cyberlink Kuei.
Like, here's current Johnny and here's past Johnny. Look how different they are.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish I could say that about every character.
Young Johnny does come off as a
Grandmaster has
bit more of a douche than usual in this game compared to MK9.
I would say he's consistent with most of MK9. He was a real big prick in most of that game.
I suppose. I like that he carries around a little magnifying glass. Little telescope. Sneak, sneak, sneak.
It's very old school. It's not by binoculars. It's just a tiny telescope.
I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna
But the
get
other
you.
thing is he's using his scarred eye to look through it.
Sub-Zero, I recognized your...
Like, I kind of liked it in versus DC where that eye was cloudy.
Not let him threaten
Yeah, that was a good touch.
Yeah.
The old Cyberlink Kuei factory was defunct, buried beneath this quarry, until the time disruption.
You know, I seem to recall it being in a forest in the comic book, Kittleson.
Stop
Who
thinking
puts it
about...
in a quarry? It was a bunker in a forest.
Listen,
See
listen.
why you need me.
If you just assume
We could
that,
enter through
like the
that
original
tunnel,
timeline,
but a frontal assault
events similar to the comic occurred,
Okay,
You're golden.
so Kronika has successfully rewritten the timeline between X and this is her doing it a second time.
yes,
help on the
you know I'm right. Does anyone else but me just want Sub-Zero to read a grocery list? Because I really do.
Hold on, I love how many stabs it takes them to take this guy out.
I feel bad for this guy. Is it smoke? It's smoke, isn't it?
It's it's not fucking smoke.
Next on How It's Made.
I have questions about how these fucking cyborgs are made. Because we see that they use, like, the brain and the spine. But there's plenty of heads lying around unused here. This is just wasteful.
We're gonna preserve that one and that one. For
Yeah,
later.
that guy's a good one. But that guy clearly was useless.
Fuck you.
That guy
fuck
was
you,
useless.
Fuck you. You're cool. Oh, I love this little moment right here. It's perfect. The look on his face. The quivering of the hand.
I know Scorpion is being sympathetic here, but there's got to be just a little bit of him in the back of his head being like, yeah, now you know how it feels, right, bro?
No, you know what? I think that he's well and truly beyond that. Who is this strange masked woman?
Oh, gee, I wonder. What a mysterious stranger.
Is it even a woman? I mean, there's a hip sachet going on, but I'm just not sure.
So all that Jinsei they stole, that they said was for the hourglass, is actually... what? To make the cyborg stronger?
Just a little bit of it? Okay, what?
Salvage that brain and that guy is not going to become a robot. What was the point of that?
Maybe they were upside down? I aligned wrong?
Oh, so that was an actual mistake.
Maybe?
Didn't mean to waste that one. It's just a shitty factory. They're bad at it.
I mean, how long have those bodies been sitting there anyway?
I mean, I will be honest.
Still good?
With Frost in charge, I can 100% believe that it's shitty and the process is fucked.
Error.
I like how you can disable a cyborg with a full Nelson.
He should literally be able to explode out of that, but oh well.
He should explode out of it. He's got little arms in his shoulders to grab people with. There's bombs and nets and fucking homing missiles.
Sector, he corrupted the Lin Kuei.
You corrupted our clan when you made peace with this Shirai Ryu filth. With Kronika's help, I will restore the Lin Kuei's.
I'm not pleased with Frost in this game.
Oh, the right choice. It's who she's always been.
It's not that. I just hate the design. I don't like the costume of Cyber. I don't like any of her shaders in the entire game.
Whee! Spinning.
Now, see, this is a chapter where I'm really missing the little tags at the end of the fights.
Some badassery here.
This is really cool. And I gotta say, I love this design for Cyrax. I love him being, like, beefy, and I love that his face isn't a fucking duckbill anymore.
It's a vast improvement over the MK9 look.
Yeah.
I'll deal with Cyrax.
Okay.
Okay, so... I mean, that's one disappointment. Like, if you pick Sub-Zero for this, Scorpion does a lot more moves to take out these grunts. Whereas Sub just freezes them in one shot.
I've been down that road, Cyrax. Never again.
He was very nearly him. Literally. That is how Cyrax started, after all.
Hurry, before we face more Cyber Lin Kuei.
I wonder where Sub learned how to reprogram these guys.
I wondered that about Noob Saibot Deception.
Yeah, neither one really strikes me as like a computer hacker.
Speaking of which, I think you've frozen.
It is I. You were killed.
Here we are.
Yeah, the past 24 years I've just been sitting around doing nothing.
Rumble, Ravage, Frenzy, Ratbat, Eject, Operation, Confrontation.
Lin Kuei inferior. Brotherhood superior.
And that's all they get in this game. Pisses me off to no end.
Yeah.
Here we go.
No. He ripped out my heart. Made me a machine.
Every time with the sob story, man. We've heard it.
Trust me.
It hurts more if you imagine that in another timeline, one we know intimately, he was purple, and they were having this exact same conversation.
See, that's what bothers me. See, because
I empathize with you in this case.
This urge to commit suicide that this timeline Cyrax constantly has That's not in character for Cyrax, but it's 100% smoke. That really bugs the shit out of me. I want Special Forces Cyrax. And I want Cyber Smoke so fucking bad.
Well, I sympathize, if not entirely. Beep boop beep bop bop. Talking about honor. You fucking red punk.
Aid Cyrax.
Sector is mine.
And this is a recreation of a moment from the comic.
Yep.
I do like that. As much as I like Scorpion taking it to the chest and no-selling the fire, that is cool too. Like, because honestly, Sector is kind of Kuei Liang's arch nemesis in the franchise. Like, it's between him and Noob. It's between him and Noob.
I feel like it's 100% Noob, and Cyrax is the one who has the biggest business with Sector. Because it's Sector's fault, he's the way he is.
I can see that too. It's just that Cyrax so rarely gets to do anything, whereas Sub-Zero is in every game and is going to actually get to fight the guys he has beef with.
See, this. This is the friendship that Sub-Zero and Smoke should be displayed as having.
This is a great scene, it just should... That robot should be purple.
What a bump.
We should follow that tornado of sand.
You're sure he's not an angry moron?
Look, I never said Scorpion was smart. I just said in some games he's too dumb. One of the greatest achievements in this game for me is how that Kano face works perfectly both bald and beardless and with hair and beard. Neither one looks weird.
You just never equip the mustache on it, that's the trick.
Yeah.
The mustache is terrible.
I mean, it looks kind of natural with the mustache, it's just that mustaches are stupid, it's not the 80s anymore.
Once he is repaired, can he be replicated? Hundreds of times. Thousands.
Can we improve him? Let's ask the cowboy.
I do kind of like this. Let's talk how much we're gonna fleece him for. It's...
That conversation was not even about whether or not they can do it.
It's just how much to charge. Yeah.
Huh.
Otherwise, who can you trust?
Of all the characters who have doubles in this game, Kano's the only one who reacts to their double the way I would react to a clone of me.
And so begins the greatest bromance in MK history.
Like, that's always been my beef with the movie Looper. If I met my past or future self, we would not fight. Why would you do that?
In the new era, Kronika will make sure the Black Dragon come out on top. Not only in the black market, in every market. Right then, let's get to business.
I might smack my past self up a little bit. I've done some stupid things. But Kano? No. Kano's known what Kano's been about for many, many years.
The network's still down.
Yeah, I think I have not grown a lot as a person.
I have, thankfully.
It's like I'm seeing a ghost.
You and me both.
How much coffee have they fucking had?
They've been doing nothing but drinking coffee for an entire day.
Are we sure that's not how he powers up his arms?
That's the more coffee he drinks, the redder they get.
Clink, clink. See, this little bit here. I love this pictorial of his life and his times.
I do kind of... This whole Briggs Farm scene is really good. And I love... I'm pretty sure that's Jarek in that little drawing.
It was either Jarek or Kratos or, like, Dagon. I don't know.
If we had it at maximum resolution and paused it, I'm pretty sure it's Jarek.
Alright, well, it's nice to be remembered. On the topic of whether or not characters did better or worse in terms of evolution timeline versus the new, you were saying that, like...
I mean, I will admit, I don't dislike fucking PTSD Jax. I do think you could do that in either timeline, because he went through some really rough shit in Deception and Armageddon.
Yeah, definitely. But he wasn't a Revenant for 10 years. And he didn't do horrible things, and... Well, he probably did, but, you know, not for that long of a time.
I mean, he was real upset about, like, being brainwashed by Onaga, and then brainwashed again by Sector.
He deserves better than angry rage guy, the archetype, you know?
I do think, like, I think the characterization is good. I just wish we also got the Jax who builds a lot of technology and is, like, a smart science guy.
That's fair.
Jackson Briggs. Do not fear.
I wonder what Vera died of.
I'm gonna assume that, as with most things, when they die off screen and it leaves them broken, it's because they've watched them die, and it's consequently like cancer, leukemia, something like that.
Yeah, it's usually a disease or something. Or is it, like, she looked really young in the comic. In fact, in the comic, she just looks like Jade. I thought that was a missed opportunity in the comic where they just kind of... They could have gone with a more original design.
Your daughter was not to serve.
I feel like Jax's wife, even though she's an off-screen NPC, deserves better than to be a Jade clone.
At least now we know she's not Gemini.
I wish she was Gemini. Like, that would be interesting to me, is like... If she had, like, that Foxy Brown, like, the big Afro 70s look in her youth.
Not just
like
a bit on the nose.
Version of that, the retired version of Gemini.
Seek them out. He relies on their power.
I did like how she pushed his buttons, you know? Jax's heel turn doesn't actually feel forced to me. It feels believable considering his frame of mind.
There is one moment later on, and we'll get to it.
Yeah, I know
like.
the one. But this was fine.
Yeah, like, most of it, I like the way Jax is... Like, he's never really a bad guy, despite being on the bad guy team. And I thought they made it make sense.
Exactly.
Against both Kronika and Shao Kahn.
Surely you can.
Queen Shiva does not trust me. No Shao Kahn has since my bloody battle with Goro.
That thing that happened.
Yeah, it's not like you completely disrespected him or anything.
Not
deliberately chose a way to disarm him that would embarrass him for all time.
Now we know he got them back then and went to die in a cave?
It's not like you gave your finger, flipped the bird to a culture that is entirely revolving around the concept of honor. I do kind of like Kitana just being like, what the fuck, man? You gonna sell me out to your boyfriend? I'm working for him now?
You think about it, and we've known that they've been the best of friends since basically Ultimate MK3, and the first time we really get to see them interact together like this, here, because they didn't really do that much of it in MK9 at all.
Like, the one positive for me about, like, Jade X Kotal is that it does add something to her friendship with Kitana, where she's not just kind of following her around like a puppy dog.
Yeah, you know.
Where they have actual stuff to talk about and disagree on. It does make Jade more of a person. I just think it's...
That's it. That's why I enjoy it.
I feel like it's unearned, that's all.
It is shoved in there. I'm not going to disagree. But it gives her more to be than just the best friend. it gives her more of a life, so I'm okay.
If Shao Kahn's in there, he'll be difficult to find.
I also, I do want to say, I love these green zebras.
Kotal, we don't know who else is in
These two had the greenest sex ever. So much green.
Part of me is wondering all the time, did they just pair these two together because they're fucking green?
Don't ask questions, the answers for which you are unprepared. Search your feelings, you know it to be true. So did the chitin train these giant angry beetles or what?
Yeah, this beetle is really good at running backwards and, like, jumping backwards. This is not normal insect behavior.
Also, it answers to Jade too, because...
By the gods, it's true.
This is what I become. Blame your loyalty to Katana. It led directly to our death.
If you're so salty about that, then why do you still work for Katana, dumbass?
She likes being evil, it suits her. I'm sorry.
It's like they pretend to have personalities, but it's just pretend. Revenants are so weirdly written.
This one acts only for the hive's survival.
Hey look, she said the truth.
Now here's my question. How does working for Shinnok preserve the hive's future when his goal is the death of all living things?
You know, people tried to tell her this. How is he not already infected? Close you stupid person. Close your mouth. Why was your mouth open? Also, she sprouts like a bunch of legs, and he goes after her with his tiny little hooks, rather than the gigantic sword on his back.
Yeah, I don't think Kotal's a smart man.
He's really not.
Now that cut misses the part where Jade has her at staff point and forces her to give up.
He got better. He didn't swallow enough maggots. He's okay, folks.
You know, I do appreciate them going for the Melina kiss in a second story. Because in MKX, I felt that was completely weird and out of left field for her to choose as a means of execution. But now that it's like an established trait, like it's consistent behavior, I'm okay with it.
They're not even sneaking well.
No, they're not. This is the dumbest plan ever. And Jade is a trained ninja. She could have gone in alone. None of they didn't even wear disguises. There's a chapter later where people infiltrate this camp in disguise. It doesn't work, but at least they tried.
Also, here we learn that the Tarkatan alphabet has like 6 letters.
It's almost entirely words you can only make without lips, but every once in a while there's a letter you can't make without lips that busts it.
It sounds like Jabba's palace dialogue, and I think that's why it works.
Yeah, like I buy it. I'm just saying, they have a couple letters you need lips to pronounce in there.
We're looking for Shao Kahn. Please.
Like P, Pak Tere Shao Kahn. You can't make a P noise when you don't have lips.
That poor Tarkatan girl.
I mean, they speak English anyway, so what the fuck? But it just makes it laughable. Everybody who defends Melina having lips in X as it makes more sense for her to talk with lips. Okay, but this is the entire Tarkatan race, and she's supposed to have the mouth of a Tarkatan.
She's probably not gonna have it back next time we see her. That's probably
like, does
gone.
anybody really care that Tarkatans can speak English?
I never have.
I never have either. Like, I'm laughing at it because it's funny, but I don't actually... It doesn't bother me. I don't consider that a plot hole. So I would just rather have Melina with the mouth she's supposed to have instead of trying to make her a prettier waifu.
Okay, but let's focus on this, though.
Yeah, no, this is cool.
Okay, well, that was not a good idea. We're getting, like, a lot of great insight into, like,
body
Tarkatan
kind of looked
culture.
like it was reaching out for a hug when she swung it at him.
Maybe it was meat.
One of those guys should be meat.
All these years, and still you exploit others to rise above your station.
I have risen to my station, Jade.
I appreciate that they cook their meat by hanging it over, like, an open lava flow. That is accurate, like, Outworld geography.
Mm-hmm.
And I've missed that since, like, Deception and Shaolin Monks.
This entire look into Tarkatan culture and their home base, that not all of them are warriors, like that poor scared girl. It's the stuff I've wanted for so long.
Yeah, me too. Like,
in so many ways, this was fan service the game, I think, for longtime MK fans.
I mean, there are some things that... I mean, there are minor complaints.
Not everything's perfect, but...
I mean, if you look behind Kotal's head there, the sky is a little purplish.
It is. Oh god, I'm dating a putz.
I mean, it took her a really long time to realize.
Witness me!
Kotal! This is cruel. Many didn't fight us. They are children.
I don't know if you've heard, but this is his second attempt at genocide.
These aren't the same Tarkatans, Kotal. A better Kahn would offer them a warm hand, not cold steel.
Fight.
You missed those guys in the background over there.
Mm-hmm. Sure did. In fact, there's really only like 6 dudes in this lineup for execution.
Pretty sure they're all outnumbered, but oh well.
Well, that's inconvenient timing. and
Hi,
and
boss.
Jade doesn't even like try to run or fight here. She's just staring at him.
She's like, well, I done fucked up.
Yeah. Just taking it on the chin.
He fucked up, she fucked up, they all fucked up. And speaking of fucked up... oh no. They're all dead.
It is too late.
What a tragedy. Really?
You did this, not me.
I like to imagine she's like choking them and punching them, and the entire time she's screaming, "Raiden made me do this!"
Don't look at me! Don't look at me!
It's Raiden's fault.
Well, let's be fair. We know how she really killed them. Stilettos. That's how every female in this game who wears heels kills.
I mean, it is Sindel's signature move.
Which is one of the reasons I'm kind of upset everyone's using them. Oh well.
So I have always thought that people who complain about female character designs having heels in them, it's incredibly silly. Like, I get that in the real world, heels are hard to stand on, much less fight in. I get that they're uncomfortable and shit, but first of all, these characters are all supernaturally well balanced. Like, it's a universe of fantasy and magic, for fuck's sake. Second,
it's contextual for me. Character.
Yeah, it's about character, and as an artist myself, I understand that heels have a fucking meaning. You know, they represent, like, elegance and grace, and, like, there's a bit of, like, an aristocratic high-classness to a person who's in heels. Like, they're not just sexual. In fact, they're barely sexual at all.
Oh, MK2 win pose.
I do like that, just in general, how MK3 Jax looks in this game.
Yeah.
Imagine becoming Shinnok's puppet.
But she says I come back from it.
The experience, hunt.
I also think it was an interesting choice that even though this is young Jax, he still has a little bit of gray in his hair.
Brought you back to life.
The love of a good woman.
Well, some people go a little early.
Like the sound of that.
Yeah, I just think it's like, because Jax
Military life
always struck me as an older guy to begin with.
I feel like he was supposed to be something like his late 30s when he debuted.
I mean, he is the senior officer. He's the commanding officer of Sonya's unit, so he should be, you know, a little older and more distinguished.
And military life ain't easy. Cue the laugh track.
Fucking Johnny.
Mary Lieutenant Princess over there. Always had a thing for blondes. Ever since Susie DiNardo. Junior year. Take it from me. You didn't miss much. That woman over there. She's the real deal.
I'm amazed he doesn't make a three-way joke.
The earliest opportunity.
Wah, wah. Gross.
No volume control.
Out, out, out.
It takes him by the ear.
Who's your father?
This is the Johnny who has experience as a dad.
My dad isn't the Johnny you know. He grew up.
Really?
I like to think you rubbed off on him.
What the fuck does that little logo on Cassie's chest piece even mean? Like, I guess it's kind of an eagle, so it's pretty generic.
That's what you called me.
Is Sonya wearing an alien skull on her shoulder, or what's the deal there?
It's some kind of skull patch. Look at me, I'm tough.
SF standard.
I wish that outfit was more green instead of like khaki.
Dad would be proud.
Yeah.
You know, there are outfits in the game for Sonya where it looks more like that MK9, like the green and black stripes. It's a pale green, but it works.
Untwist your panties, older me. I'm a star. This
I was older me capitalized.
operation, not a movie set. You're the best fighter here, but your daughters got me sitting at the kids' table.
Slap.
Daughter is CO. A little humility might earn her respect. Dad always said, hungry people eat lunch, humble people serve it. Dad was an asshole.
Yeah, just a little bit.
I do like it's only 2 lines of dialogue, but it's...
And of course he's got a second pair. Of course.
Well, he carried... I love that
the fucking pose. Just the slow, sad head shake. Fuck, I was awful.
Try not to cry.
The
pouty. You got lucky.
I never saw him as that much of a douche in the old trilogy, but I can buy it now. I really can.
I feel like it's like a gradual evolution across the games. Portray him that way,
Yeah.
but I like it.
It works. It does.
Like it is a step elevated from, say, Lyndon Ashby, but it's still on point.
Lyndon had a good balance of it. But
yeah,
it's not like Kung Lao levels yet.
I mean, see, the thing that I feel like the movie and Lyndon Ashby's portrayal had that the games don't have that they could probably use is the Arlene character. Yeah. Like somebody that at the first tournament for Johnny to give a shit about and watch die and realize this is important, take it seriously a little bit.
By the way, this entire scene, utterly unnecessary.
Oh, this is completely contrived. There's no reason for this.
I know I died, but how dare you leave my body there? The fuck?
And it's not like the two of them fight each other. There's really no reason for it. Like, it doesn't add anything.
Who gave him a gun? Is my question.
That's a good fucking question.
I think Boba Fett made that exact same pose in Empire. I'm pretty sure he did. What the fuck did that one do to you? Honestly.
She was standing there.
Don't shove them like that.
Even with robots, you gotta establish your alpha male dominance.
Beep boop beep.
And this Kronika-ized upgrade is really just a paint job. It's the same fucking model.
You know what? I still like it though.
Yeah, Sector looks fine in white and gold. I don't have a problem with it.
It's a good contrast. I like the fact that both Kanos have laser eyes, but they're just letting him do all the work. They could be contributing and like beat through this thing in 10 seconds.
Well, that's what he's there for. I mean, we're gonna see later that from Kano's point of view, Sector's not a person. He's just there to do stuff. He's a tool.
Kano had the right idea.
That's freaky like Friday. They shot our face, Johnny. They shot our face.
Laugh track. Okay there, Vega.
Let's not shoot guns anymore. That was dumb.
Stryker would be proud.
Now, why is a nice Texas boy like Aaron Black in bed with the Black Dragon? Older you works for Kotal Kahn.
Good question.
One of the good guys.
Now, he says that like he doesn't remember Aaron having been there at the second tournament working with Kano, even though that's where younger Aaron was taken from by the time tornado.
Don't think about it too hard. Just gonna give yourself an aneurysm. It's not worth it, man.
I know. Because if you really want to get into it, like, Johnny was at the arena during Kung Lao's chapter of MK9. He wasn't with Sonya and Jax.
Just, I'm not gonna do any of this to myself. I'm just not. It's not worth it, man.
I guess it went a little different in this timeline. Because Kronika erased that timeline in between games, and we're watching her second shot.
It happens all the time.
Between every game, Kronika's like, redo. Literally
just a
every
little
game.
bit off.
Tarmac B.
I don't like his hair this time. Sit this one out, kiddo. You're not doing shit this story. Yes, Johnny. Yes. As if I needed this game to sell me Johnny any further, you know?
I mean, at the start of this game, they didn't need to sell me on Johnny any further. Like, 9 and X already did more than enough.
Yep. Also, this game has kind of a problem. Oh, those poor cyber ninjas. This game has kind of a problem of, like, bad guys taking hostages for no good reason.
Yeah,
At all. There is no reason
a lot
for
of
it.
questions about this entire section of the game. Like, what was the goal of the attack on the Special Forces base in the first place? I don't feel like this was part of Kronika's plan at all. This is just Kano having fun.
Mine's bigger, bitch. Some serious cool points for Boba Fett sector here.
This is definitely the coolest Sector has ever been.
Yep.
And I like Sector, so...
Makes me sad to think that he and Cyrax do more in this mode than Noob Saibot does. Or Aaron Black.
Yeah, like, they're not even fucking playable.
All of this is just gold.
You can play that game.
You go, Johnny.
Damn it, I only have the one jet.
He's got some really good suspension.
Send another extraction vehicle.
They're called knees.
Won't be online long enough for your friends to make it, Tinhead.
How long did you think that one up for?
Johnny Cage. Silex defeated you when you were younger and stronger. As I am his superior, I am yours.
You're forgetting the time I beat Shinnok mano a mano. Oh wait, you were dead when that happened.
It actually wasn't. Sub-Zero didn't kill him until several years later.
Who's next?
I'm next. Hollywood.
And... Money shot.
Oh, this is great.
Disappointed he just doesn't fall down unconscious after this.
Yeah, that should have been it.
As if throwback me wasn't bad.
Like, young Kano should have been knocked out by that, and then old Kano comes out and fights him. And then, like, young Kano gets back up and takes a hostage.
Old Kano comes out with a limp.
That's a shame.
Well, well. Got ourselves a full-on generation.
Now, I want you to remember, that getting shot in the leg takes Johnny out of the story here. Like, this is the end of him in this story mode.
Yeah.
Because that will be relevant later.
Indeed.
And I'll point out when.
We've got all the leverage. We're leaving.
You don't need leverage, though. You could just kill them all right now. Why
Yeah,
aren't you doing
what's
this?
Like, why are you even here? I swear to you, this is not part of Kronika's plan. This is just the Kanos doing what they want to do.
Oh yeah! Cabal, he's in this game too.
Yeah. And, you know, the fact that he has that air hose on his outfit before he's scarred and masked,
Look,
the fact
man.
that he came walking out of a jet justifies it. Like,
error.
He just happened to be a jet pilot. I wonder if that's part of the police academy training he received.
That could have used a funny quip right there. Why are you
Yeah.
limping and walking funny? Right in the Goskies.
He vogeled improper.
Yep.
I miss when developer names were made up Australian slang.
Me too. Okay, well, she does get to do this, which is fair.
That's fine. Sure is convenient that your gun was already loaded
Yeah.
with the tracking device bullet.
Those good old tracking guns. Don't leave home without them.
Let's go get them.
Anyone
Wait.
else hear that beeping?
You forgot your precious antique cans. Your cans! Oh, look what you've done to them.
Aww. That was a really, really long talk with the dead elder gods.
I also like how Raiden teleported in not knowing what's going on. Oh, that's a problem. Hang on. I'll get this.
I like how the magic Asian god immediately understands when a robot's going to explode. Like technology is...
He can probably reprogram them too if he wants.
Everybody in this fucking franchise is a cyber ninja hacker.
There's just a big button back there that says self-possession, on or off.
Okay, now I have a question.
Yes?
What the fuck does he mean the Sky Temple's been compromised? Who has compromised the Sky Temple? It looked fine at the beginning of the game other than the hole in the roof. Are the bad guys off-screen attacking the Sky Temple? Why don't we get to see that? And by the way, the Sky Temple also has Jinsei.
I'm guessing
Why is
maybe
he not protecting the Jinsei?
The Sky Temple connects to the Shaolin Trap Dungeon. I don't know.
The Shaolin Trap Dungeon connects to the knee bone.
Yeah.
The knee bone connects to the shin bone.
The shin bone connects to the portal. Aw, it's gone forever now.
Kung Lao and I, we will rendezvous with Princess Katana.
Wants to see Katana again. Fucking making up excuses.
Wait a minute. Damn, too soon.
That is a shame. Because the Elder Gods had such a long history of watching over you, protecting you, all of you from death.
In some ways.
She wears that throne really well.
Yeah, she looks alright.
I do like her design here.
I have questions about this throne room. Namely that it doesn't look like the one from Deadly Alliance or MK4.
Kotal Kahn has been captured.
Where's the giant lava pit?
Continuity, man. It's spelt with a K. You're in the wrong damn franchise.
Yeah.
We have Earthrealm's support, Your Highness. With yours?
Hey, it's glowing back there. Maybe that's lava.
Maybe it is. I'll give you... I will... I don't wanna, like, harp on it, but Shiva kinda looks like she has a 5 o'clock shadow on her upper lip.
Together we will march.
I don't know that I'm feeling that face model.
Maybe it's a tiny thing, they'll improve it later. At least, you know, her general face sculpt, it does remind me a lot more of MK3 Shiva than usual. And she's been in a while.
Like, MK3 Shiva had, like, kind of a model face with sharp cheekbones.
Well, it looks better than the Armageddon version, that's for damn sure. Them bulky models.
I don't hate the Armageddon version.
Oh, I despise it. I loathe it.
I mean, I would place that. Like, I really don't like the MK9 version. A lot of that was because the Shokans all had cat eyes in that game. Like, fucking yellow reptile eyes.
What is it about Jade's blood that intrigues you, Scarlet?
Dinian blood is most sweet, Your Excellency. It is also a rare commodity.
It helps me to keep my variously changing accent in check.
They really went over the top with the fucking vampire voice.
Sometimes she's Scottish, sometimes she's like from Eastern Europe, I don't know.
I feel like...
Then we attack now.
I don't know if I like it.
Just choose one's all I ask.
The Tarkatans won't grant.
I don't know, maybe hire someone who's actually from Romania.
I have an idea.
It is not one of your better ideas, Katana.
It's a lot better than Jade and those 5 guys just walking in, hiding behind tents.
Who is in charge here?
So, Katana has seen Star Wars, we've established that.
Kang is a little short for a stormtrooper. That's probably how Scarlet figures it out.
Are you just squeezing her head? What's going on here?
I think she's, like, bringing it to the surface? You know, she carries a knife, so...
Our gift for Shao Kahn.
It just seems unnecessary. That's all I'm saying.
the Khan's high and mighty daughter, now brought low by common soldiers. Have you learned finally that you're no better than the rest of us?
Someone's got issues.
For Shao Kahn, we demand to see Baraka.
You won't be seeing anyone. Liu Kang.
Donald Sutherland noises. I do have to give her that, you know? It was a stupid fucking plan, and I like that she saw right through it right away.
I mean, he didn't even do anything with his hair. I want to point out that the next time we see Liu Kang and Kung Lao, they're going to be in their regular clothes. Where were they hiding their pants?
I don't know. Kung Lao teleported into his off-screen. Liu was already wearing them underneath all that and just burned the excess off.
You know, I bet Kung Lao does actually own teleporting pants. See?
There you go.
As requested, 0 casualties.
Jade, are you all right? We must find Baraka.
Washed off all the paint and everything.
Baraka won't join us. Kotal's hate for the Tarkatans runs too deep. If I hadn't stopped him, Kotal would have executed them all.
Yes, Kotal has made his intentions plain.
Where were all these guys?
Just off to the left there, behind that rock.
Baraka, please listen. No more Tarkatans need to die.
Kotal Kahn threatens all Tarkatans in the new era.
Take a drink.
Yep.
In the new era.
Jade, Liu Kang, Kung Lao, stand down.
We must win this battle with the power of friendship.
What I like is when we find out that Kronika has done this like 1,000 times. Every era is the fucking same. So she's clear, like, the new era, whoever her allies were, she's really not giving them, like, whatever that she promised them.
And for what?
And not a one of them figures out that they're being had. Not a one.
Not with each other.
Kotal wants us dead. He said as much to my face.
Aid us, and I'll make sure you sit at Kotal's table.
Still, any game that gets the redemption of Baraka, it's a good game by me.
Yeah, this is
Good timeline.
like the first game in history where he's capable of a conversation and not just attacking someone. and this is, it needs to be stated, the first game since MK4 and Deadly Alliance where Kitana really gets to do what Kitana's whole character is about.
Diplomacy.
Yeah. You know, this is the kind of stuff she was doing with Goro in the Shokan like 15 years ago, and that was like the best her character ever was, and we're only now getting back to that.
Too long at this pretender's hands, but I've returned, and I will save you from his madness.
Yeah, see, he knows how to work the crowd.
They're cheering.
In Outworld, Shao Kahn is a baby face.
See, they love him. They're clamping down on those seats pretty damn hard. Clomp, 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 clomp.
Let's forget about the murder and the taxes for a moment.
That girl on the left was really amped.
I mean, that's what Colosseums are for. The whole concept of bread and circuses is forget about the taxes.
This is just what Collector wants you to do. We brought electric guitars.
It's Present Aaron. He's in this game.
Hi and bye, Present Aaron. We hardly knew ye.
Where's this boldness been hiding, Kitana? Had you shown it before, I'd have had no need for Melina.
What, she never busted open a fucking door in her life?
All I ever wanted was for you to turn against me and lead an army.
Thank ya.
Ungrateful shrew, born to privilege which you throw away.
Who are you to judge me?
You have not known cold or hunger. If you had, you would value the gifts Shao Kahn gave you.
I like how he believes what he's saying. You know? You can see that he's lived a different life.
Yeah, like, again, good job with that character. Pocket sand!
And it still doesn't bring him the fight.
No, and it, like the last time these two were tussling in the arena, he had to bite him on the hand. Like, the only advantage Kotal has is to fight dirty.
This game did really sell Kotal being as strong as Shao to me, though. But just not quite enough. And here it comes. My God, Jerry! He can't be about to do it! He can't!
He is
broken! He'll never walk again, Jerry! Oh my God, no!
By God, that man has a family!
Surrender, or face the consequences.
Fucking Undertaker comes fucking running in.
The sun goes out, and there's like, bong.
Dong. Organs.
Dun 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 dun.
See, I like that little bit there. I wanted Gerard's wife, not his daughter.
Yeah, I mean, it's true in this timeline.
I can buy it. I really can. Wait for it.
Yeah.
I swear to God. And
Yeah,
Hiddleston says that she just blinded him.
Yeah.
But their reaction and like Kung Lao saying she did it, I could have sworn to God she slit his throat.
That shot hit him in the face, so I believe the blinding him thing. I think just and he is still like rolling around and moving and groaning for a moment after the hit. So if it was supposed to be a death, it wasn't a very well animated one. But this is like if they're leaving him live, fucking why?
Taking the mortal right out of the combat.
He is the most evil man in the universe. Why are you not fucking confirming the kill? And this is the second time in this timeline they've done that. Remember in MK9 where Liu puts his fist through him? And then those dudes, like, a pair of Tarkatans cart off the body. And then in the very next scene, Shao Kahn walks in the room and he's like, yeah, it takes more than that to kill me. Quan Chi used his magic to heal the wound. Fuck, nobody will kill this guy. That's why he keeps coming back.
You know, the point of view there, I really thought he was pointing at Shiva for a second. Could have angled it just a little bit better.
She's now officially out of your league.
There's one.
Now, see, I like that, like those little zingers that Kung Lao gets.
That's what makes me appreciate him, yeah.
Those are when that personality is actually working.
Yeah.
I do have to complain about the phrase Katana Kahn, because that is another thing where Sean Kittleson never understood that in MKX, the word Khanum is the female version of the word Kahn. And my understanding is that someone did eventually explain that to him, and he decided to ignore it anyway because he thought it was too complicated for people.
I'm sure it showed up somewhere, didn't it?
Well, in the comic book, see, the reason he learned that he was wrong is because in the comic book, he thought Khanum was another word for, like, the empire, or, like, the throne, and he had people chanting the phrase Khanum at a speech Kotal was giving.
The Shaolin will join us.
But Khanum Melina means Empress Melina. Khanum is the female word for Khan.
after Johnny and Sonya.
And so people chanting Kahn at a Kotal Kahn speech is super wrong.
Undoubtedly.
Anyway, current events.
Yes.
That while mighty, she is not all-powerful. Otherwise, why would she attempt to steal Jinsei?
A very good question.
I mean, it's a fair point.
Then what's her next move?
I do have to point out, though, that the level of power she is displayed having in this game, and the fact that she needs all these MacGuffins. In previous games, the Elder Gods were reality warpers.
I must keep vigil for
Yeah, it's happens when you downgrade them.
Yeah, and she is a Greek Titan. She is above the gods. So I don't think Sean Kittleson understands how the divinity works in this universe.
He's a hired writer.
He's not just a hired writer. He's clearly way too much a fan of Greek shit.
Yeah, that's
and
it.
Like, MK is supposed to be more Asian themed, so that kind of bugs me.
I am triggered that they didn't spell club with a K.
You're not wrong. While we're talking, I really love that the chapters have titles.
Yeah.
And I should have mentioned this much earlier. I like that the chapter titled Shaolin Monks is followed by the chapter titled Fire and Ice.
Yes.
Yeah.
We all caught that.
That was a nice touch.
So Sonya's the skank who burns me?
She more than burns you, Kabal. She goes black ops on your ass. Shocks, knives, the bloody works. Patched you back together myself. Well, most of you.
Grrr. Cabal angry.
I do like this bit.
But now he's motivated.
Now he's motivated.
See? It matters that Kintaro did it.
What a bunch of cocks. Hey, past Cabal has super speed. According to Kittleson, how blatantly they've retconned Cabal's backstory is supposed to be evidence of how often Kronika changes the timeline.
Okay, sure.
Like the fact that MK9 isn't even canon to this game.
It's canon like the old games are canon, right?
No, it's...
Right.
Similar events to MK9 happened in this universe. Not the same ones, similar ones.
The answer is everything's canon. Everything.
Yeah. Even your fucking fanfic is canon.
I won't fight him.
Even, hey, 16-year-old girl who wrote, like, yaoi, it's canon.
Scarlet and Motaro, Chapter 15. Blood on the Sands.
I know, Judgment Fist from Twitter and our Discord is a big fan of Stryker and Cabal as a couple. In another timeline, it's canon.
I see that as more of a buddy cop sitcom than anything else.
She doesn't.
I've seen weirder things shipped. Little bro pop.
Look, I have stated many times on the show my policy is to not kink shame. People are allowed to have their other timelines where that's canon.
I do like how, for a second there, they were like, kind of in like the stiff old school versus poses. Just for a second.
I do like the past Johnny, his awareness in this scene where he's like, no, we can't fake it, they'll know. Can't take a dive, they'll spot that. This is the part of the game where he gets to mature.
Sure, I'll do some stuff.
Every time young Kano is on the screen, I can't stop looking at his face and how much he looks like Rich DeVizio.
It's great, isn't it? You know what I've just realized?
What's that?
This thing's in Russia, right?
Yes.
In Soviet Russia, Kanos eat you. I regret nothing.
Well played, sir. Making your sweet time there. I don't know, maybe that was supposed to be slow motion and not just Aaron dragging it out.
He likes to have fun.
Sometimes it's hard to tell.
I do like how in that particular fight, you don't have access to the sonic rings or anything, because your shit's gone.
Yeah, that is a nice... Like, I always like when they do that, because some games they do and some games they don't.
Yeah.
Where, like... For example, in Versus DC, there's a scene where Jax shoots his machine gun at Wonder Woman, and she's blocking it with her bracelets and says, real warriors don't use guns.
Mm-hmm.
So he throws away the gun, and then in that fight, you don't have the gun move.
Cassie killed like 50 people today.
Yes. Yes, she did. This is technically the same 24-hour period as her fucking murdering a whole bunch of... Well, you can't murder demons, I guess. It's a fuzzy area. But the attack on the Netherrealm, we're still in the same day. Nobody's gone to sleep since the beginning of the game.
And finally, someone uses Kano's eye well.
Yeah, this... So, John... one thing at a time. So, this is the second point in the game where Kano used his eye to, like, scan something or go infrared, which is... You know, in the very first game when he was introduced, we were told that's what the eye is for. Not shooting lasers, seeing an infrared. And this is really the first game where he actually does it. So I really like that.
Now this is a knife. Also, that was a gun. I wanted to make that joke earlier, but we were busy.
And that was a hell of a knee.
Honestly, that shit looked painful.
Most people would not get back up.
Credit where due.
It is a doornail. Worst thing is, it's those Netherrealm stiffs, did you hear?
So what I was saying earlier, so first of all, young Johnny has now been shot, just like old Johnny's been shot, so both of them are out of the game. But Cassie just got shot with a fucking minigun, and that arm is still attached? That's not how miniguns work.
It's just a scratch.
And these...
Just grazed her.
So, old Kano feeling these kicks to the stomach. Like, that's not really how the time travel was working before.
As we're about to see, the laws of time travel in this series exemplified by what is about to happen. No, you don't try to apply logic to any of this.
No, it doesn't make any fucking sense at all. Now, again, I keep going to the excuses Kittleson has made. According to him, killing people... The reason that that's the only thing that really, like, there are no paradoxes where... So future Kano's about to disappear, but everything he's ever done in life...
Yep, still matters.
The reason that isn't also erased is just because Kronika has stopped time. If time were actually running like it's supposed to, the paradox would happen.
Uh-huh.
But that doesn't really explain why then future Kano disappeared. Like, it's trying to have your cake and eat it too.
It just doesn't. Like, I can't do this to myself, you know? I just... Look, I don't know how you have the patience to go and look through all these inconsistencies, because, like, there's a pyramid of them, there's a mountain of them, and I have to turn my brain off. I gotta do it.
As a rule, you should never write a time travel story unless your franchise is about time travel. Like, if you're making Back to the Future or Terminator, that's the whole plot, go ahead. But adding time travel to a story that's not about time travel always goes badly. The problem is MK9 did it first, and this game is just kind of finishing the trilogy. But they really never should have introduced time travel to Mortal Kombat.
Let's never have it back again.
I really hope this is the last time we ever see it.
Yeah. Man, Garris just kills so many people here.
Sure does.
I feel bad for these NPCs. I really do.
I mean, they're
especially
getting
this guy.
And see again, like Garris is making facial expressions. Most of them smiles. Like, I guess his personality is just that he's a jerk? Like, he's just kind of a sadist for some reason?
I suppose? Anything to help him feel something?
I guess. I don't know.
He says to himself he's forever alone. Yeah, nice try, Johnny.
I admire the effort.
Where did you jump to?
Yeah, what the he was on the ground!
Cassie Cage defeated Shinnok, son of Kronika. I am his mother's vengeance.
Is that really it? That's the petty fucking reason? Like... I'm not here to help the Black Dragon, I'm just...
My love for you is like a truck berserker.
So the reason I kept pointing out to remember both Johnny's getting shot.
Mm-hmm.
Cassie took a minigun to the arm and is no longer wounded.
It wasn't fair.
There's not even blood on her character model now.
We are 2 games after the introduction of X-rays. And this is still an issue?
But it happened in cutscenes this time.
Finding out how I die or could die. But
And I'm not like if she has a fucking Wolverine healing factor as part of the green glow, fine. But Johnny should have that too, shouldn't he?
I don't care. I really wish I did, but I just don't.
Well, look, it's either talk about
I'm willing to accept that it grazed her.
It's either think about this or think about the dialogue Ronda Rousey is speaking right now,
which we should be making fun of. We haven't done enough of it.
I don't know that there's anything we can add, like that the internet hasn't already beat us to. In terms of fucking Ronda.
We could do better impressions. Meanwhile, Lou's been standing here zoning out again.
I am amused by the T-1000 moment. Yeah, the Revenants don't really do anything in this game.
I swear to God, he's standing around smelling burnt toast.
When he returns, I will strengthen him further for the final battle.
Hey, my left arm is numb. Should I be worried?
His Outworld army, and now the Black Dragon.
Lang. Ku Lang.
While Raiden precious time fighting
Champion of Outworld.
our most
Stabbing a Hulk.
on Shang Tsung's island.
That island is in ruins. What could possibly...
Timecraft requires an abundance of raw temporal energy.
Here comes some Star Trek tier technobabble.
Contains a lifetime of this power.
Discovery needs some more of that. I find myself missing it.
I felt like this season of Discovery was better than the first in that regard, in a lot of regards.
Oh yes, absolutely.
I mean, most of it's just because they fucking added Christopher Pike. We really need a Pike's Enterprise show instead of Discovery.
Okay, this scene I have a problem with. I have such a fucking problem with this.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though, is when she says it's a destiny I crafted for him, she's taking credit for something she didn't actually do. What she actually does is rewind the timeline whenever people don't do what she wants. She doesn't have any control over anyone's free will. She just keeps starting over and hoping they'll do what she wants.
That's fair. I like looking at it that way more. It just the way it's worded, it makes it sound that like she intentionally had him produced as a soul reservoir.
That's just
shit.
her pompousness to claim that she's responsible for other people's choices. The actual canon is that everybody does have free will, and she just has restarted the universe a billion fucking times. She'll do it at the drop of a hat whenever somebody makes a choice she doesn't like. Boom, start over from scratch. She's just really fucking OCD and taking credit for, you know, the way the universe is.
Happened to me, like Raiden said, it's gonna be different. Isn't this good news?
Which honestly makes her a fucking chump as opposed to, like, a good villain.
Ugh. I do hate to say it. She, didn't exactly replace Shinnok in my eyes.
No.
I can't pretend I get all this cosmic.
No, I would, you know, I have to fight with myself over whether the worst villain in the franchise is Blaze, Dark Kahn, or Kronika. That's not good.
It's probably Dark Kahn.
It's probably Dark Kahn, but
at least Blaze knew he was a plot device.
Dark Kahn is the villain of a game you don't have to acknowledge exists.
But it's canon, though.
Yeah, in another timeline that Kronika erased.
Well, I mean, we do get evidence of that here.
But, like, Blaze and Kronika are actual Mortal Kombat villains.
Yeah.
And I can't really say which one is the worst.
Blaze is fully aware that he's a plot device. So I give him that.
I guess. Like, I do appreciate that Blaze isn't actually important. Like, he's not really a villain. He's just a guy you fight at the end.
He's like, yeah, you know, I can't help you. This is my job. I'm programmed to do this. Can't change my programming. Gotta fight me, bro. This place really went to shit, and I want to know why.
I wonder if the front gate was not always like this.
Maybe.
I also want to point out that I really appreciate that they came here on this military boat, because it reminds me of the boat Jax picked Johnny up in the MK2 comic book.
Right. It might be a nod.
And here's the Warrior Shrine. That's nice to see. I wish we would get it as a stage in the game, like DLC stages, buddy. Come on.
I think we're gonna. I really do.
I really hope so. I mean, the Warrior Shrine is my favorite MK1 stage. And I like the sense of geography that it leads into the courtyard.
Mm-hmm. They definitely sat down and they're like, how can we make a fully workable island out of all of these backgrounds?
Well, I will mention that the geography of the island in these cutscenes is not the same as in the crypt.
I have so many questions about all these dead monks.
Yeah, I don't... Okay, so the monks that attended the MK1 tournament were Shaolin. They came to watch, and they left when the tournament is over. So, how did these guys die sitting still?
This place did too.
Okay, because she just says...
Gore was canonically dead here too.
This place died when Shang Tsung did. Shang Tsung died in MK9 during the invasion, when nobody was on the island. So why are all these dead bodies here? Like, and why are they in these sitting poses? And why is Goro in his lair?
On the one hand, I want to say, you know, maybe the Shaolin came to retake the tournament grounds, which was originally theirs, perhaps.
But why did they all sit down in the bleachers and die of old age?
And who hung those guys?
Yeah! Maybe Goro was on the island, like he's been hiding out there since the comic. And so he killed those guys and then set them up in poses to amuse himself. And then when his work was done, he's like, okay, now I can retire. So he went and sat in his chair until he was dead.
There's a whole DLC chapter that needs telling.
Like, he decided he wanted to retire, so he sat down and starved to death on purpose.
He had a hunger for combat that was unfulfilled.
And suddenly Jade has these incredible necromancer powers.
Soul power. Gotta have it. Soul power. No, you want it. Soul power.
Can all the Revenants do that?
Apparently Noob Saibot feeds on souls according to this game now.
Well, yeah, apparently, like, in his intros, he talks about the darkness as though it's like a part of the Netherrealm he runs, and all the souls that go there are his shadow clones. That's where those come from, and that's why he has more than one. And he just... It kind of makes sense because of the Ghost Ball movies had since Trilogy. He's obviously able to summon ghosts from the Netherrealm and shoot them at you.
So it works for you.
I guess. I mean, I'm confused by the mechanics of it, but I'm okay with it in general.
It's a hell of a promotion.
I hear past you deserves respect.
I mean, he is the most perfect of Quan Chi's creations.
He has no flaws.
And he is, like, the highest-ranking guy in the Brotherhood of Shadow, I guess. Other than Quan himself and General Reiko in MK4.
You just reminded me that one of those little bits of snappy dialogue that we missed, because the way this is cut, was, Sub-Zero retorting to Noob earlier. We share blood, but we are not brothers.
Oh, yeah, that
God,
callback was one of the best lines, yeah.
Pausing and applauding. I was so happy.
That was good. I really, really like in this game that Kuei Liang has no illusions that Bi-Han can be saved. Because as you know, nothing pisses me off more than a fan who thinks Bi-Han can be restored. I don't want Noob Saibot to ever be a Sub-Zero again. And I don't think it's in character for him to be capable of being a Sub-Zero again.
He eats souls now. Come on.
He's fucking evil on purpose. He likes it. He was evil before he died! In mythologies, you're playing as a bad guy!
Moral of the story is, Soundwave's not joining the Autobots anytime soon. Meanwhile, we just sort of left this here.
So Jax just said that he doesn't remember spotting a Well of Souls the last time he was down here in MK9. That's kind of hard to miss, and it's right in the room that he was being kept.
It literally wasn't there, that timeline.
I guess.
Okay. Yes, you did leave. You were just at the Lin Kuei lab. Stop lying, you awful liar.
I mean, maybe that was a shadow clone? Let's just ignore the fact that they look visibly different from main Noob.
You know, giving him Scorpion's UMK3 fatality would make so much sense nowadays.
Yeah. I mean, this is what Noob always wanted, to have, like, an army of his own demons. So I guess this is, like, a power upgrade. Maybe... I don't know, maybe he got juiced by the Soul NATO that we thought killed him?
I'm willing to believe it.
I should know who that is.
Good point, Jackie.
How does Jax know?
Seriously, none of them should know what happened. Well, you know what? Sonya probably told him, or someone probably told him that, like, Scorpion showed up holding a skull in his spine, and they drew their own conclusions.
This is past Jax, which means, so the first appearance Noob Saibot makes in MK9 is fighting Kung Lao. Jax already went home at that point.
You're thinking about it too hard again.
I am thinking about it too hard. Like, if it was present Jax, I could be like, alright, so he was a Revenant. He probably knew other servants of Quan Chi while he was down there. We're apparently going with the story that Noob Saibot survived the Soul NATO and has been in the Netherrealm for the past 20-some years, just hanging out off-screen, just like Revenant Jade wasn't in MKX, but she technically was.
Just because I'm a broken shell of a man doesn't mean I can't have a good cigar.
Dad? How do you get here?
Who dressed you?
One guess.
Dad, your arms.
I like how, like, there's the one stripe on the cloth. Like, what's the point of it?
Destroying the universe? Restarting it, not destroying it. Being a revenant, the years I lost.
And the hands don't have, like, knuckle joints. They look like human hands.
It's a bit of an upgrade.
You're talking nonsense, man. You raised a fine daughter.
I don't have a... I like this design, I guess, for, Kronika-ized Jax.
I don't know about the brass knuckles as a necklace, though.
Yeah, that's a little weird. That feels like maybe something Johnny Cage would wear.
Out of all the people to rub off on him, no thank you.
In fact, it's weird in this game, gear-wise, Johnny and Jax both have an assortment of belt buckles.
And one of them is like a Street Fighter Shadaloo shout-out.
Yeah.
I know you suffered. You still do. But you don't betray your unit. And you sure as hell don't betray your family.
Clank, clank. Then that happened.
He's out, but he'll recover. How are you?
At what point, I appreciate, we didn't mention it on the boat scene, when Jackie was having the big heartfelt conversation about how Jax met Vera and how if he had never died, Jackie wouldn't be born.
Right.
I thought that was a good scene.
Yeah, it was.
And it does make a, like, I feel like Jackie is one of the few people in this game who understands the mechanics of time travel and the consequences if the game were to take them seriously.
Surrender Kronika's crown and the Elder Jackson Briggs. No harm.
In that order.
No deal.
Kronika must restore the balance.
You know, this is
Can you not see?
not the presentation that an Elder God should be getting. Like, if she was giant, see-through, and blue, I'd be cool with it, but she doesn't really come across as any more powerful than Raiden right now.
Maybe the mind can only handle so much.
Stand down. Resistance only ensures your suffering.
I do enjoy the fact, though, that, like, they specify that without that crown, she's not winning this fight.
Yeah. The staging of the fight with the crown and everything is perfectly fine. I just feel like my problem, I guess, is with Kronika's or Cetrion's character design.
It's time for action.
She just, I don't buy Crystal Poison Ivy as what an Elder God would look like.
You were warned. Mere mortals cannot control the crown.
And, you know, she never takes, like, the form of a giant dragon in this game at all. Like,
well, I've said before, I do feel like the presence of all the green armor and... I feel like there may be a visual allusion to it.
I just... Like, even in MK9, when they helped Raiden kill Shao Kahn, they appeared to him as a swarm of little dragons.
Yeah.
And I just, like, if she... You know, she just lost a fight. And she gets her ass kicked by Liu Kang later, and she never, like, goes for the full power dragon mode.
Maybe she's weak, too.
I get... Like, I don't understand why stopping time makes the Elder Gods weaker. That's just a plot contrivance that's never explained.
Oh, it's bad. It's terrible.
Her life is in your hands.
We were talking earlier about, this is the moment where I don't buy Elder Jax doing what he's doing, like taking Kronika's side.
I was really ready for him to turn around and punch Cetrion in the side of the head here.
Yeah, like, to not do that, it just doesn't fit, like...
I mean, I'm surprised he didn't. I'm glad they keep me on my toes, but at the same time, it's kind of dumb. Although, not as dumb as Jax looks with that crown on if you play him instead of Jackie there at that point.
I love you.
Kronika awaits our return.
I don't know. It just to stand there and watch helplessly and stand on the side of the person who just threatened to kill his daughter. I just don't buy it.
The only justification that I have is, like, he's reminding himself that time's going to be around anyway, no matter what. Doesn't mean I'm cool with it.
Part of me wonders if the Crown MacGuffin is something they came up with halfway through development when they realized Kronika's head looks stupid. And
Possibly.
they're like, maybe if we give her like an extra piece of clothing to cover up her stupid bald baby face, man.
Kitana and I will see that they arrive as planned.
I'll bet you that they were a quarter of a way through development, and it was an amulet, and then they're like, oh shit.
So many souls, so much time.
Her gold fingertips really creep me out, by the way.
Yeah, the gradient of like that black cloth material down her arm that turns into skin, that turns into gold fingers, is a weird choice.
Compromised our situation gravely.
I know.
Like her whole like space alien Apple Store aesthetic.
Apple Store, holy shit.
Well, yeah, she's all this fucking white plastic for clothing. I don't get her. It's just like
where's the USB slot?
Like the art direction doesn't really track unless their only mandate was make something that doesn't look like a Mortal Kombat character.
Plan if they don't come back.
They must, or else hope is lost.
And here in this scene, we've got Raiden talking about how Shinnok's amulet is like tempting him to wear it, like he can hear it calling to him, like the One Ring. And I guess we're supposed to get the idea that like young Raiden and Dark Raiden wasn't erased. He actually merged with his younger self, and is inside him somewhere.
Whatever helps him sleep at night.
Yes. I mean, that's really the only way that moment later where he uses red lightning for a second makes sense.
We just did our annual dose of Raiden is dumb.
And here's an Elder God
struggling to hold a bridge together.
Yeah, like struggling. And also, can't you just teleport these guys?
Maybe she can't. But Kronika could. But she's busy.
Raiden could do it, and he's weaker than an Elder God, right?
Maybe it's like Nightcrawler, you can only teleport so many at a time?
I don't know.
She's really feeling the burn.
I really don't think it was a good writing decision to portray an Elder God growing weaker and the deaths of the other Elder Gods. Especially considering in this franchise, we've never really gotten to see the Elder Gods be characters, and we've never really gotten to see them at their full power. Like, what they can actually do.
Are you certain Charon will aid us?
I've always believed that they were capable of nothing less than unmaking planets, if they had to.
Yeah, they're fucking reality warpers. They're goddamn, like... They're capital G God. And I feel like the way they're treated in this game, where they're killed off screen, and Cetrion is so weak, and even Kronika, who's supposed to be more powerful than them, is portrayed so weak. I feel like that's just the writers going, someone else created the Elder Gods and we don't like them. It's like a disrespect to the original canon.
I don't think it's intentional, but I think it's them going, we've gone up the power scale.
I don't think it was a malicious choice that this is a Tobias thing, fuck it. I think that as writers, they just went, we don't want to deal with this, and that's just lazy.
It's a power scale thing. They had just gone through everything else. It's like, how do we create a threat that's bigger than a fallen Elder God? A full Elder God, yeah. Something above an Elder God, yeah. And it's that simple and that dumb.
None of the fighting with Cetrion really feels like it was a tougher fight than when Shinnok, and he's, a fallen Elder God, he's supposed to be without his powers. Like, his powers were... I mean, he deliberately stripped them from himself and put them in the amulet. So whenever he doesn't have the amulet, weaker than Raiden, he's practically a regular guy.
Mirror match!
I also want to say, I mean, now we're dealing with the introduction of Charon. I do not understand what he is. Like, is he one of the Netherrealm's gods? Because he tells D'Vorah he can't be killed, he's immortal. And he has, a godlike job, bringing souls from the living realms to the Netherrealm. But they never just outright say that he's one of the gods of the Netherrealm, and that feels like a missed opportunity.
Was the Greek Charon a god? Or was he just a ferryman?
I think so. Well, I feel like he was, a minor god.
Maybe.
Because the tier in Greek mythology is if you're the child of a god and a god, you're a god. And if you're the child of a god and a human, you're a demigod, like Perseus or Hercules. And Charon, I'm pretty sure, has 2 gods for parents.
I'll look it up later. In the meantime, it's Mary Sue o'clock.
Here we go. Now just stand there and watch, Other Scorpion. Don't do anything about it.
Stop probing him.
And by the way, I realize that, Hanzo's being stabbed right now, and it's probably really distracting, but he could have exploded sooner. Or teleported. And also, the comic established that when Hanzo dies, he can just walk back out of hell. And they're even in hell right now. He could take the same door he got there with.
But what happens when you die in hell? Exorcist walk!
I did enjoy that.
Yeah.
I wish D'Vorah were dead. I would have enjoyed that more, but...
Upside is now she's gone from the story too. Forever.
That is the last time we see her, isn't it?
It is. She's gone.
How did she get to the Netherrealm?
Portals.
I guess. I mean, she's on Team Kronika, so she probably just got teleported there, yeah. The last time we saw D'Vorah was when Kotal and Jade captured her and, made her give up Shao Kahn's location? Why would Kotal Kahn let D'Vorah go free?
Goodbye, character development. I'll miss you.
So, Kotal Kahn, who is practically defined by his desire to execute his enemies, why would he let...
A lot of letting people live when they don't need to.
There will not be a fight if Charon does not help us. Is there any word from Grandmaster Hassan?
Yeah, I have...
No, if we do not hear soon.
I have so many questions about the mechanics of this whole, the only way to Kronika's keep is by Charon's boat thing. Raiden said it was outside the realms, but the only thing outside the realms is the void where the Elder Gods live.
I feel like it works like Shang's Island.
I guess.
Why are you here, Scorpion?
It looks geographically like it's in one place, but it's actually between places.
I suppose that makes sense.
Yeah.
I feel like...
I find that impossible to believe.
I feel like the existence of Charon, there's suggested lore there that really should have been written out. Like, it feels like an unfinished and very flippantly introduced idea that this Netherrealm ferryman exists.
Well, we know a lot of shit got left on the cutting room floor.
Yeah.
I feel like there was a good hour and a half worth of scenes that aren't present.
You know what bothers me the most about it? It's not that it exists, it's that Raiden didn't know about Charon until Scorpion and Sub-Zero told him who he was. Raiden should really know all the supernatural things in the universe and be the one who gives the exposition, not receives it. And it's this continual, like, ever since MK9, this dumbing down of Raiden. Like, gods should know all the things. It's the same category as the other Elder Gods not knowing about Kronika's plans, or not knowing Cetrion is going to take her mother's side, not seeing that coming. Gods should be omniscient. Not as a like, they shouldn't be born knowing everything, but they're all millions of years old. That's enough time to learn all the things there are to know.
The darkness.
I mean, this really comes out of nowhere unless you accept that Dark Raiden and him were merged by the time thing.
But the amulet, it makes you feel all slippery and slimy and evil inside.
The amulet that Raiden was not tempted by when he was keeping it in the Sky Temple for 20 years?
Yes. The very same.
The revenants were right. You cannot be trusted.
The amulet that the gods guarded for millions of years, the Fujin and the others were never tempted by?
Fujin's watched a couple Johnny Cage movie marathons. His soul's already tainted.
Alright.
History repeats itself.
Hey kids, remember MK9?
Yes, but not that fucking hat.
Kronika changed the timeline because she didn't like the cornrows helmet.
Well, if I remember right, you hated it too.
Yeah, I still hate the cornrows helmet.
Is this an upgrade or no?
It's fucking stupid looking. That's one piece of gear you'll never see on my Shao Kahn.
Oh yeah. Oh, beautiful Deadpool.
This fucking Deadpool needs to be DLC. Like,
yep. Completely.
Okay, now this stage with the purple
MKDC.
This is apparently the mix of Outworld and Apocalypse from the end of MK vs. DCU. Yeah, that's Kittleson said so.
And we have our lovely subway.
Mm-hmm. I would like this back as well. Very briefly, the fucking palace from Deadly Alliance, yeah. And this is Armageddon now.
Blaze's Pyramid. You have no idea how vindicated I was seeing this. It really felt like for the first time in a long time.
Yeah.
The old games mattered.
I like that the one in the Warrior Shrine is, like, wearing the closest to the MK1, where it's a black and white color scheme.
This thing's such a fucking problem, my god! Does all the things.
I have been a fool, Liu Kang. Kronika's puppet. We only battle because she wills it.
Please don't hurt me again.
He does look scared, like he's backing away. And there's the one time in this game Raiden will heal somebody. He uses it once in every game, and that's all he gets.
I'm actually surprised it hasn't been made into a gameplay mechanic yet.
I mean, what would he do with it? Like, heal your opponent? Why would you do that?
This succumbing to her influence bit. This is their justification for MK9 Raiden being as dumb and cowardly as he was.
Yeah, I get... So...
Using each timeline to learn.
I guess the explanation is that the medallion he wore in 9 was something Kronika added to him to make MK9 happen. Because, I mean, obviously he never wore that fucking thing in the original timeline. He doesn't wear it in MKX, and he's not wearing it in this game.
I do not know.
And it has weird time powers. So where did he get the fucking thing?
And it literally made him dumb.
I guess that's the... I guess that's their excuse. And this is an important point. Like the fact that he didn't get a double when time was originally rewound, when Kronika stops time in a room, gods aren't stopped. Like, Shinnok's head was still able to talk even though the blood was stopped at the beginning of the game.
Right.
Everybody else is frozen. Raiden isn't. That'll be important at the end of the game when in the final boss fight. Her powers don't work on gods, and that's all there is to it. Or at least they don't work right on gods.
We have repeated this exact conversation
Except the fact that when she restarts the timeline, they lose their memories.
There were 6 prior Matrixes. There have been several different versions of you.
Jesus Christ,
you are not
this
the first one.
He is the fucking architect. They literally repeated
they did.
everybody's least favorite scene from the Matrix trilogy. Like, the thing that ruined the Matrix trilogy.
She created Dig Dug and Frogger.
Enjoy these final hours, Raiden. They are all you have.
I mean, we could actually say she created Smash TV. That game is canon to Mortal Kombat.
Did she create the grid? If so,
Maybe.
I can forgive her.
No, I think Kronika is Kittleson's avatar, and Ed Boon has his own Titan, and that's the guy who created the grid.
We must leave immediately to save the realms. We must save Liu Kang.
Here, here.
What does Garris need armor for?
Why is he even wearing any of it? Maybe he's developed a phobia of forklifts.
Is this anti-forklift armor? Why is it on his face?
He has died 1 billion times, but never before did it suck as much as when he was hit by that forklift and blown up.
He's died 1 billion times, and each time his clothes get stupider.
Just a little more dank every time.
Okay, so Revenant Liu has learned Shinnok's magic, and this will let him steal souls. In what fucking game does Shinnok steal souls?
Maybe he doesn't, but he knows how to, but he can't because he never learned the formula right?
What?
Maybe that's why his head was up on that wall. I don't know. Again, feels like more missing material.
I mean, look, just say that, like, he learned Shang Tsung's magic. Like, he picked up a book off the island. Nobody's gonna question it. He's evil. He would do that.
Oh, these fucking 80s power chord guitars. The shittiest moment in the score. What were they thinking?
I kind of like it.
I can't. No, I'm sorry. That's like the only sound problem I have with this whole game.
I know. You have your musical taste.
I do, but...
And I have mine. I love the fucking 80s, that's all.
So do I, but I was basically expecting Cobra to come bursting out of the background or something. I don't know.
Where?
Or like Dolph Lundgren.
Where did this boat come from?
Oh, hi, Frost.
Battleships. My ferries cannot fight a war.
This fleet is under my protection.
Did Kronika just always have a boat sitting around? Or is this like a Lin Kuei, like a cyber Lin Kuei boat? Who made this boat? That's...
Looks like Kronika make.
Yeah, it's her art style.
She made a boat. Why not? I'm gonna ship in the sands of time for an infinite period. Got time to make a boat here or there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Also, how long do you think Frost has wanted to say ramming speed? She really, really threw herself into that line.
Yeah. Well, look, if you're gonna say it, everybody's got that in them somewhere, the desire to yell ramming speed while on a boat.
Fuck yeah.
You know, the last time Raiden fought a bunch of these robo-jobbers, he took like 6 out at once with a single bolt of lightning. You remember that scene from MK9?
What are you talking about? I don't remember that game at all.
You don't... I mean,
Tag team, back again.
You should remember that scene, because it had smoke in it. Okay,
yes.
Now he's doing it.
See, there you go.
Now he's doing it.
There you go. You're so out of your league, though. It's like the scenes is just there to remind us that he's very sad.
Yeah.
Kronika's promises to you are a cruel deception. She is the mother of Shinnok.
Which will lead to a cruel Armageddon. As a result of this cruel, deadly alliance.
Cetrion's mother. Is Shinnok's sister. In Kronika's new era, Shinnok will be the darkness to balance Cetrion's light.
Sure, why not?
If the realms keep on fighting each other.
This whole
My
balance
God,
thing.
I've been contributing to the cycle of violence. I have to stop it with more violence.
It is not foolish.
He just got woke, bro.
I promise to make this right.
G.I. Joe. Who wants a body massage? Yeah, now what?
Yeah, now that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'm gonna make you eat that thing. That fucking helmet, Mike. Ha! I forgot about that. Denied.
I did really like the shot of the torpedo from the face cam until he gets grabbed by the throat out of it.
Johnny Buttercup! Glunk.
My defeat is impossible. Yours, inevitable.
I will suffer your.
I have an idea.
Yeah, this really wasn't the best place to put Garris, like, tactically.
Honestly. You wouldn't. You just wouldn't.
That is unfortunate for you. The sea of blood is bottomless. You will fall forever.
Oh. Oh shit.
It's a clever way to get rid of him. Clever way to write him out. This fucking plot device.
That's also one of my favorite moments. And Raiden smirks to himself. He's like,
yeah,
I just condemned him to an eternity of torment.
He's really, like, satisfied about it.
You have made a devil's bargain with Kronika.
I don't have a problem with that. I wish we got more emotion out of Raiden. That's my whole problem with his character. He's not Christopher Lambert.
I've taken care of one problem, now for another one.
Such wasted potential.
Stop lying to yourself.
You knew she was shit. It's the entire reason she went robot, because she knew you knew she was shit.
So she is linked to them.
Sorry, bro. She is shit.
Then let them follow her to defeat.
Let's see if I can reprogram her for good. I think it was like this.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
Uh-oh.
And Phantom Menaced.
We so free! Is he drunk?
He's definitely definitely drunk on something. Is covering your face how you keep your soul from being stolen?
Well...
No, I guess it isn't.
In the movie, it kind of did come out of the face sometimes.
Oh, it was different every time.
Yeah.
Raiden's fleet nears our shores.
Now that little animation bit where he makes the fire in his hands would have been so much better if this whole time he'd been using, like, the red and black, and was like, I can't use my flames, because those were my living powers, and I don't have them anymore.
Bit of context would have been nice, sure. I'm just glad he's not standing around smelling toast anymore. They really did nail their eyes in this game. Like, I love every shot.
Yeah.
They come across as actually believable, not goofy. Satisfying.
Put a hole in the sail, that'll show him. I do like that he got there on a little rowboat all by himself.
Time after time, Kronika's schemes have pitted us against each other. That cycle must end, Liu Kang.
This time it will.
I mean, I still hate you. I don't know if you know this, but I have a good reason for it.
Your power. Is this Kronika's gift?
A gift.
You might say I sucked myself off.
You stole it.
I would rather you not say that.
You taught me, Raiden.
Yeah, he knows a lot about sucking, alright.
Any means necessary.
I have conquered the darkness within me. You must do the same.
I don't want to, though.
You have to kill me.
I would rather save you.
I know you wanted him to kill Raiden. I know you did. But actually, this feels okay to me.
Look, I wanted him to kill Dark Raiden. Like, this is not the same Raiden who killed him.
Okay, that's fair.
Like, I wanted... The scenario where Raiden dies, I would require it to be one where he goes full villain, so that when he dies, it's not tragic, it's victorious.
Yeah.
And that's not the game we got, so I'm fine with this. Like, this is... For this story, this was the best way to play it.
Liu, what do you see in front of your fist? Liu, awaken! See? He teleports in cinematics!
Yeah!
Why not?
He can do it.
I am. And I am not.
What happened to Raiden?
He is part of me. Bound to my soul. He made me a god. For now, at least.
A god?
So, I mean, this is the power of Raiden combined with two Liu Kangs. So I'm not gonna say that, like, Kronika's defeat comes too easy, like, say, Shinnok's did against Cassie. But Cetrion is a punk bitch. Like, she is a chump.
Yes.
Cetrion sucks.
You know, coming into this, I kind of just really figured that Kronika would be actually underpowered, and Cetrion would be be like the brute force. She'd be the major big threat. And not even, you know?
No.
Not at all. Even with the proviso that someone wearing the crown could allow them to stand against her. Oh well.
I never buy her at any moment in this entire game as really being powerful. I feel like she's weaker than Raiden.
Making an Elder God playable was a mistake.
I feel like there's a way you could depict that. They just...
I felt like it was a bad idea from day one.
Yeah.
Just didn't strike me as right.
I mean, it's not a great choice. I wouldn't make that choice.
Now, for what's about to happen later as well, I want you to picture everything that's happening now, but backwards.
Well, when it happens backwards, the frame rate is terrible.
It is. Just like fucking 15 FPS.
But right now, for those about to rock, we salute you.
Scorpion just looked at a heart contemplatively, shoved it into a corpse, and brought it back to life.
Let's once again bring the American military to a fight in the Nether.
It's like a Michael Bay film, but without robots.
I really want to know what religion is like for normal people in the MK universe.
God is dead.
Like, how do you go to church and listen to a preacher when after you've experienced the events of Mortal Kombat 4?
This is unnecessary but cool looking.
They really are just showing off. They're like, we don't need no fucking drawbridge.
No, but really, after MK4, suicide rates probably went way the fuck up. Oh, the fucking guitar chords again, Jesus Christ.
I like it.
Dolph Lundgren!
You know, you can say what you want about Cobra. Last night, I finally watched Cobra Kai Season 2.
I've heard good things about the show.
I want that character back more than ever.
Very fair.
Like, but he needs to be old and washed up like Johnny Lawrence. He needs to be, like, sympathetic Cobra. I don't know if you can do that, because Johnny Lawrence was just a high school bully, and Cobra is canonically a serial killer. It's a little different.
This mean you're back?
This means I'm sorry, Jackie. And hell yeah, I'm back.
And this means that that's what they get.
I'm suddenly over 20 years of PTSD. Again!
Oh, yeah. That's a lot of the same demon copy-pasted.
It sure is. I mean... They mostly have different heads. What I want to know is why all the demons wear pants now. Was that, like, a Liu Kang regime initiative?
Okay, a word about the demon dicks. That's enough.
Like, when Shinnok was in charge, none of these guys had clothes.
You know, you'd figure for an Elder God who wants the world to be more like Earth, would have had people start by putting on some fucking pants.
I mean, they don't really... I mean, what they have is, like, stone crotch plates, so... It's not like there's really anything to see. Like, Raiden just... God Lu just came down like a fucking meteor, and is taking out an entire army all by himself. Cetrion and Kronika could have had, like, something like this, but against good guys. They could have been depicted as powerful, they just don't do shit.
Too busy sculpting the new era trademark.
Capital the, capital new, capital era.
It's anatomy class time.
This guy takes a lot of stabbing to put down. I feel like she's wasting a lot of time there.
I'm amazed he didn't fall down in pieces. Wait for it. Wait for it.
Wind up, yeah!
Gotcha! Jesus fuck. Maybe those power chords do have a place.
Victory is still at hand. The hourglass is nearly ready. You will prevent Liu Kang's interference, but you will require more assistance.
Let me give you some of that sweet armor Garris had. That helped out a lot.
You're gonna bring Stryker and Smoke out to help us, right? Right?
Why would I get those losers? Oh, god damn it.
Sad inside. Well, that's one way to do it.
Shaolin fists can melt steel beams.
You know what's actually impressive here?
What's that?
There's no mirror match dialogue really to speak of. None.
Yeah.
Like,
not.
You got Kung Lao and Katana sitting there and nothing. Would have thought, but apparently not.
I mean, I guess they got a little of that out of the way. Like, this is Katana's first time seeing her other self. Everybody else got to fight their clone. I guess play arcade mode.
Crap, Matt, not. Rilim or Canep. Something Laura Palmer.
Yeah. What was the bad frame rate an artistic choice? What? I don't understand.
Wish that like Fraps was running right now.
It doesn't look good. Like, it objectively looks poor.
Raiden's gift shields you from the power of the hourglass. Regardless, your allies are gone, while mine remain to defend me.
I think I'm gonna need a bigger boat. Finally putting those Ip Man fists to good use.
Earthrealm's Jinsei flows within you. Let it fuel your fire.
I really wish she hadn't referenced the plot contrivance and just said you are the chosen one or something like that. I don't know.
I mean, I'm fine with, like, I guess the Jinsei is the source of the strength of the gods, because Raiden in MKX has to, like, recharge in it when he's been out doing shit.
Fair enough.
Are you using a sleeper hold on a zombie right now? Is that... I guess they breathe? That was pretty brutal, though.
She's got no neck anymore.
No, she's done.
Now stand down. I have no wish.
Didn't her neck get broken by Sindel the first time, too?
No, she got her, like, spleen lip ripped out.
Right, that was it.
But you will notice, like, he fights Katana again. And then he fights Kung Lao again, but not Jade. She doesn't get back up.
No, she's finished.
Our bond was no mistake.
Your ego knows no bounds.
Coming
Really?
from you? Really? Yeah. Fucking prick in a hat.
From the beginning. Thanks to
Yeah, if it had been you... You remember losing to Scorpion at the tournament, right? You didn't even make it to, like, the semifinals.
His life is a series of blowjob noises.
As you wish, Mother.
Suddenly I am darker.
Yeah, like...
Lighter, but darker. The darkness to my light.
She was
but
on
not
screen
Shinnok's
5 seconds ago in
dark.
the green outfit.
It's not Shinnok's dark, but it's dark.
Whoever animated this scene has clearly watched Avatar, because now people are throwing projectiles with their feet for the first time
just
ever.
a little bit.
Because your heart is not in the battle, Cetrion.
Yeah, that's the reason she's losing. It's not that she sucks, it's that she doesn't want to fight.
You know, maybe that is part of it. I'd like to think there's something going on there.
You can argue that right up until the point where she commits suicide in a second here.
Yeah. At least she's conflicted about her horrible deeds. I don't know.
Is she, though? Like, the token conflictedness, I'm not buying at all. And that's part of the problem with the character.
It would have been nice if there was a bit something more there.
You know, complain about the characters introduced in the 3D era all you want. I would rather have Dairu than Cetrion.
Oh, so would I. I don't know about Kira, though.
And it's really disappointing, because I thought we were at a point past that, because even the worst MKX characters are still decent characters.
Did any of this require Shinnok and Cetrion to be related to her?
No, there's no reason for her to exist. Kronika could have killed the Elder Gods. Jax and Jackie on the island. There's no scene in this game Cetrion's in where she's the only person who could have filled that role.
Hey, Razor. In the new era, can I skip over the cinematics every time she changes the stage? Can I? Holy shit, it gets old quick.
Yeah, this goes on for a... Or did Brusk... Because we're watching the version off YouTube. I think Brusk cut out all the times he lost.
The realms will not fight your endless wars.
Fight me further and your friends are lost.
It can be a pain in the ass depending.
Pentus has his losses in it, but this one I think cuts straight to the ending.
I'm not gonna judge him. The battle can be irritating if it just goes wrong for a split second.
Oh, actually, I should point out, the one he sent us has the mediocre ending that Katana's not in. I just looked ahead on the fast forward bar. This one actually has the good ending.
Okay.
So Bruce fixed that for his YouTube upload.
Good shit.
Okay, so I guess because sand, he burned her until she turned to glass.
Yep.
That's fine. I don't know why it looks all red, but whatever.
And tip. Satisfying.
And that's how a Titan dies.
Sure, why not?
Our work is finished, Liu Kang.
By killing their physical form.
Don't think about it too hard.
The
eyes. The eyes.
Take my place as Earthrealm new protector.
Blink, please blink.
If he just didn't have the cowl on. If he just had his hair out, it would be fine.
Something about it is just it's off.
We haven't gotten a costume with Raiden's hair out since Deception.
Return the hourglass to the dawn of time and sculpt a new,
Or maybe Armageddon.
a better one.
I can't remember if it reused both of his dark alts.
It was Deception.
Hmm.
And they brought it back in Armageddon.
Yeah. It was the Deception. They reused both his Deception costumes. It always bugged me a little. I thought his ult in Deception or in Armageddon should have been Light Raiden, so you had the option.
We are far in the past, but not so far that I cannot reach her.
Now that doesn't make sense.
Nope.
Sculpt the hourglass's sands to forge a better future. I look forward to meeting again.
Yeah, we're in the dinosaur era. Katana hasn't been born yet, and Kronika said once we're here, we can't go forward again. But somehow I can pull Katana back out of the present.
The power of love.
It is a curious thing.
And C major guitar chords. So, you think about what this means for Outworld. Welcome Katana Kahn. Where the fuck did she go?
Yes.
Okay, but that timeline doesn't exist anymore anyway.
Mortals will make their
I don't know.
Everybody acts like the new era will resume in the present. No, we got like 65 million years, billions of years of universe's history to replay in real time. We don't get to fast forward to MK12.
And stop.
The real question from this point on is, do Katana and Liu Kang allow Shao Kahn to exist? Do they allow, like... Okay, the Elder Gods have to be older than the universe is, because they were there for its creation. So Shinnok is alive right now, right? Like,
theoretically, yes.
And all the Elder Gods that Satrion killed, they're back to life, theoretically. So, like... Because if you're starting history over from scratch, and you can only start it from the point where the one being died and the universe was born. So all the Elder Gods are still around, so Shinnok can still be in more games. But are they seriously going to say, there was no Shao Kahn, Outworld never conquered all those realms, there's no Mortal Kombat tournament? Like, Johnny Cage and Sonya and Jax and Sub-Zero and Scorpion, all their lives would be way fucking different in the next game.
Well, that's not a game that we're going to see.
But, like, what will MK12 look like? Like, is it going to be a reboot from scratch that ignores this, and this was our happy ending to this whole universe?
I think that that's actually just what we're supposed to assume. That whatever we see is just but one of many other timelines that Liu and Katana now create. If we get a shout-out to them as avatars of themselves or something, we'll be lucky.
Yeah, like, there are now 2 Liu Kangs and 2 Katanas.
Something like that. Anyway, so that's been it. For all our complaining, no grousing, I really was very happy with it.
Emotionally, it is a very satisfying story. Like, I've said this, I think I said it an episode or 2 ago on the show, where we were just giving, like, our general reviews. I said that MKX has pretty much no plot holes. Like, the whole thing actually makes sense from start to finish.
Yeah.
It's just not satisfying, because it follows characters I don't give a shit about and lets them win in unsatisfying Mary Sue ways. This game has as many plot holes as 9 did, but it treated the characters right, unlike 9. So I have to say it is definitely the best of the 3 games.
Exactly.
And
in terms of story for me, too.
And in terms of getting a happy ending, there's nothing happier than letting Liu Kang and Katana, you know, ride off into the sunset as the gods of the universe together.
A lot of people tend to say that none of the game that we just witnessed matters, none of the old games matter at all, now that they're writing a new timeline.
Well, yeah, I mean, especially when you keep fucking rebooting. But
all of that had to happen to get us to this point, to get that happy ending.
The real treasure was made along the way.
If you want to put it that way, yeah.
It's your memories, man. It was an experience. It's the journey, not the destination. And other cliches like that.
For real, though, we do have, like, 27 years of story. That's a lot of packing on the horse, and it's time to just start again without strings attached, so I'm okay with it. And you know what? They don't have to have erased history from that particular moment, you know? A lot of the Versus dialogue seems to imply that some of this stuff could be taking place in that timeline, but later on, like Garris escaping from the Sea of Blood.
All of the intros are sort of set after this game, but if time hadn't been restarted, like if everybody was just continuing on from these events. Like, Katana Kahn is a thing. and people talk about, like, oh, you defeated Shao Kahn in the arena, but he escaped with his life, and there's even ones against, between, like, Liu Kang and D'Vorah, where D'Vorah says Kronika's still alive. Or maybe it's against Raiden. I don't remember, but it's like, Raiden says Kronika's dead, and D'Vorah's like, is that what you think? So it's definitely like the ending happened, but time isn't rewound to the beginning of time, like everybody's still in the present day and remembers everything.
Well, D'Vorah is also the mother of lies.
It's almost like the continuity of the arcade intros is from Aaron Black's arcade ending, where he decided, I like things the way they are, I'm going to dump the hourglass into the sea.
The true continuity is YOLO.
Yeah, basically.
Somewhere out there, Cabal's ending is what happened. That's a beautiful thing.
I maintain that that's Cabal's fantasy, where, like, he has a crush on Serena, but Serena doesn't know who he is.
No beard that great can be just fantasy. But anyway, so that's been our viewing of MK11 Story Mode.
I mean, I bitched a lot because I was pointing out all of the many plot holes. But emotionally, it is a really satisfying story. Like, the characters who needed happy endings got happy endings and shit. I hate people who like bad endings. I hate people who are like, but every movie has a happy ending. I want something different. I hate subversion.
There's a time and a place for it.
Swerving away from expectations. Like, I just want tropes played straight. We've had, like, 2 decades of media made by people who were bored of tropes and were trying to be different and edgy. And I'm so tired of that trend now. I just want things to go back to telling straight, normal stories.
I say why not both, because, I mean, I'm a David Lynch fan, and he's not about giving you happy endings. I do like an occasional, a little bit of a mindfuck.
David Lynch makes mysteries, though. Like, if you know from the start that it's going to be a weird mystery, then it should have a weird, swervy ending. It's appropriate to the genre.
So, any further comments? The only thing that really upsets me is that there was no real Noob Saibot and Sub-Zero closure, but that's about it.
Yeah, it's really just... The disappointment is for the characters who got left out or didn't get much to do. That's really all you can say is, like, look, if this was our big goodbye, it's kind of shitty that Smoke didn't get to be part of it. It's kind of shitty that, you know, Melina didn't get to be part of it. It's kind of shitty that Reptile didn't get to be part of it. You know, all these characters who have been there for the previous couple games. It would be nice if it was, you know...
And yet we know that some of them will be. Like, I need to know how
DLC.
Shang fits into this, if at all. Because I have a feeling it'll be like Tremor in 10, where, like, he didn't actually impact or affect anything. Unfortunately.
I mean... It'll just be nice to have him there.
Yeah, there is that.
And that's why I can't be too salty about Noob Saibot, because at least he's in there. And, like, whatever was not said between him and Kuei Liang that you wanted in story mode, you can kind of get from the intros. The only Noob Saibot interactions that disappoint me in the game are with Scorpion. Like, neither of them really seems to care about each other, even though both of them killed each other.
Well, I've said this before. Scorpion literally came back to life, rebuilt from scratch, got a new clan, got a second chance at everything.
Sure, I mean...
And Noob Saibot literally got everything he always wanted, but wouldn't admit to himself that he always wanted, so he should be grateful.
Yeah, but both of them have gotten... You know, have grown past it and should be over it, but I would just like to have seen at some point in that history, like... I was playing a tower earlier today, and there's an intro between them where Noob says, "What about our partnership, Hanzo?" Scorpion says, "I am no longer bound by Quan Chi." And then Noob is like, "Well, then I guess I have to kill you." And it's just like, that's it? You knew the whole time that this guy was Bi-Han and you had nothing to say about it? Where's that interaction in 9 or X? Like, it didn't have to be in this game, but it should have been in one of the previous games.
You know, it all would have been just right if it hadn't been Devora who killed him. If it had been Noob, actually, and things had kind of come full circle again.
Now, see, yeah. Yeah! Especially because, like, Charon's a Netherrealmer. It should have been another Netherrealmer going after him.
Exactly.
Shoving Mary Sue Devora into more places where she doesn't belong.
I'm sorry to bring that up.
God, I hope she's not in the next one.
Yeah, me too. On the other hand, at least, you know, I didn't get to mention this during the broadcast, but I did appreciate the fact that this game kind of also went out of its way to put pre-Hanzo Scorpion as kind of a not brainless dolt.
Yeah. I mean, you know me, I like MK2 Scorpion,
I know.
which is like a barely canon version of him, apparently, but that's what I think of first. So I've never pictured Scorpion as being fucking stupid like he is in so many games.
This is the Scorpion that I've always wanted to see.
Yeah.
So I was very glad. Very glad.
I really like when he shows up at the fire garden and he's like, other me is dead, I came to help. And he says, I seek redemption.
Mm-hmm.
That's
big moment.
Practically right out of MK2.
Yep. Alright, so 3 hours and 60 minutes in. That's been the show, I think.
Yeah. I think overall a positive review. A lot of plot holes and problems, but overall a positive review.
There were so many plot holes I can't be bothered to like go down the list.
There is a point where you just kind of give up. Like I felt obligated to point them out.
That's fair.
But on the inside I can't care anymore because it's like giving a shit about a modern comic book. You
exactly.
know going in that this is not real literature.
My moment where I just kicked up my heels and said I'm not going to try to keep track of shit anymore. Kano being shot in the head. I'm like, okay, we're about to get like a time vortex or something, right? No? Okay, then.
I guess you get to pick and choose your paradoxes when time's frozen.
Inconsequential death. Yeah. Lovely.
At least Kano and Sonya finally wrapped up their rivalry, because that was one of my big complaints about MK9.
I kind of figured X would have been the last of it.
And they fought to a conclusion in X, and, you know, there's that whole thing where Johnny talks her out of choking him to death because they need intel, and then they lock him up. That's not really a finish. You put Kano in a jail, he's gonna get out of jail.
I did appreciate at the time, though, that Sonya was willing to hold back and allow justice to be done, when she had every reason to. But this Sonya at this time, younger Sonya, angry Sonya, shooting him in the head, it's justifiable.
Yeah. Well, I feel like you can look at it, both Sonyas feel like they're more developed characters than Sonya did in MKX. Like, that was my big problem with Sonya as a character, is she's 20 years older in MKX, and she's actually become more of a sour bitch. But somehow, both Sonyas in 11 are good characters. Like, even with Ronda Rousey's voice acting, they're both less, like, they're both likable. Feel like they've grown.
I could chalk up the bitchiness to being freshly divorced.
I suppose.
Anyway.
Yeah, that's it for us. I hope everybody enjoyed this. I'm sorry that it wasn't our first impressions watching it fresh, but the honest truth is that if we had been watching this for the first time and recorded it, most of it would have been silence because we would have been paying attention.
We decided relatively early on that wasn't the right decision. That wasn't the way to go. We thought it would be better to offer you guys a proper commentary.
And the other half of the crew, you're getting their first impressions whenever Django puts out those one chapter at a time.
What's he up to now?
There's only 2 episodes up, and the last one was like 15 minutes. I hope he makes them longer, because I'm enjoying them.
All right, then.
I'm watching them the same way our fans are. I'm seeing them fresh for the first time, and I want more content per episode.
Well, 3 straight hours. A nice big dose of us. All at once. More than you can handle.
We like to put Django to shame, just like I will when I play mythologies.
Oh, I look forward to this. I don't know why you like to torture yourself so, but more power to you.
You know, I'm actually not bad at that game. Like, I'm probably gonna die a lot on the win stage because you can't not.
Oh, totally.
You know, there are parts later on where people bitch, like, Ishii quit at the Fire Temple. And that's not a hard part of the game for me. Like, I've played Mythologies several times throughout my childhood. Like, that is one of my most played Mortal Kombat games, despite all of the problems with it.
At its core, it's very much like a Mega Man game. It's about dying until you learn better.
It's like a Mega Man game or a Sonic game. It's about memorizing the layout of the stage.
AI patterns.
Or having a strategy guide.
That too. Alright. So, thank you very much, one and all, for tuning in. And we'll see you again very soon with part 2 of the Sub-Zero retrospective, hopefully.
I love you all. Now get out of here, kids. You bother me.
You broke time? Good night.
Later, nerds.